There comes a time in every life when one must step away from the familiar and venture onto a path that no one else can walk for them. This journey, solitary as it may seem, is not a curse nor an abandonment. It is, in truth, an invitation to experience the depths of self-reliance, to come face to face with the boundless power within you. Self-reliance is the cornerstone of any meaningful journey towards self-realization. It is often misunderstood, cast aside in a world that prizes conformity, validation, and the ever-present company of others. But to truly understand the power and importance of self-reliance, we must look beyond these surface needs and into the heart of what it means to trust and rely on oneself. Self-reliance is not isolation from others, it is the development of a profound inner resource that, once cultivated, remains a steady guide through both calm and turbulent times. There is a transformative power in cultivating self-reliance. For most, life is a constant search for external guidance, for someone or something to illuminate the way. We look to others to tell us what to believe, how to think, and what steps to take. But no one outside of you can truly know your path. Each individual carries within them a unique journey, a distinct purpose, a direction only they can see. To rely on others to clarify this path is to lose touch with the inner compass that has been guiding you since the beginning. The real work lies in learning to listen to yourself, to trust the wisdom within, even when others don't understand or approve of the choices you make. Embracing self-reliance means accepting that, ultimately, no one else will fully understand your vision, your aspirations, or your potential. This can be challenging. We are social beings, and we often crave the comfort of others' validation. But if we allow ourselves to become dependent on this approval, we compromise our autonomy and abandon our true desires. We mold ourselves to fit others' expectations, which in turn weakens our connection to the self. Self-reliance is the ability to remain steadfast in who you are and what you want, regardless of external influences. It is knowing that you alone possess the strength, wisdom, and insight to direct your life toward its fullest expression. Consider that self-reliance is about cultivating a relationship with yourself that is so complete that, even in the face of uncertainty, you can find peace and direction. It is the quiet confidence that you have what you need within you, even if all else falls away. This strength becomes your foundation, a firm ground beneath your feet that does not waver, even as the world shifts around you. When you cultivate this strength, you begin to recognize that you no longer need to look outside for answers. You realize that the answers have always been there, within you, waiting for you to quiet the noise and listen. There is a sacredness in walking alone, in knowing that your path is meant for you and you alone. While there may be others who offer guidance, only you can decide where and how to walk. The world is full of distractions and voices that claim to know what's best for you. But self-reliance requires a selective attention, a willingness to listen only to what resonates deeply and dismiss what does not align with your truth. When you learn to rely on yourself, you become immune to the sway of external voices. Your choices come from an authentic place within, not from an obligation to please others or a fear of standing apart. This path is not without challenges. There will be moments of doubt, moments where solitude feels daunting, and the temptation to lean on others seems overwhelming. But in these moments, self-reliance reminds you that you are capable, that you have within you the strength to endure and to thrive. These moments of doubt are invitations to go even deeper into yourself, to reaffirm your commitment to your own path. With each step taken independently, you strengthen your belief in your own capacity. Every time you choose self-trust over external approval, you build a foundation that will support you through any challenge. When you cultivate self-reliance, you are not alone, because you have yourself. You have the understanding that you are your own best friend, your own guide, and your own confidant. This realization does not isolate you, it frees you. It allows you to engage with others from a place of authenticity rather than need. You no longer seek relationships to fill a void or give you direction. Instead, you share your journey with others, knowing that it is whole and complete on its own. In a world driven by external validation, where people seek approval and confirmation from countless sources, the idea of relying solely on inner vision might seem revolutionary, even uncomfortable. But inner vision is the purest compass we possess, a deeper sense of knowing that transcends the opinions, judgments, and expectations of others. This inner vision, your intuitive sense of direction, is the most authentic guide you have in navigating life's journey. When you learn to trust this vision, you find a power and purpose that external validation can never provide. To cultivate inner vision over outer validation is to embrace a path that may not be well-trodden but is, without a doubt, uniquely yours. From a young age, many are conditioned to rely on others to determine their worth, progress, and potential. Approval from family, praise from teachers, recognition from peers, these become the benchmarks by which one measures success and happiness. While validation from others can feel gratifying, it's often temporary and inconsistent, vulnerable to change as trends, opinions, and societal norms shift. The problem with relying on outer validation is that it requires you to mold yourself to fit others' ideals, abandoning parts of yourself that might not align with these expectations. This dependence on external feedback creates a hollow sense of self that fluctuates with every opinion. It is a self built on shifting sand. Inner vision speaks quietly. It doesn't demand attention or require applause, it simply guides. To connect with it requires stillness, patience, and a willingness to trust yourself. This is no easy task in a world filled with endless distractions and opinions, but the reward is immeasurable. When you follow your inner vision, you begin to live in alignment with your true self. You make choices not to impress others, but to honor what feels right and fulfilling to you. This alignment brings a sense of peace that outer validation can never provide, because it is rooted in a truth that does not waver. The beauty of inner vision is that it is uniquely tailored to you. Only you can truly know what resonates with your heart, what sparks your spirit, what aligns with your soul. When you listen to this vision, you discover a path that may look different from others, but it is one that fulfills you deeply. With inner vision, there is no need for comparison, because you recognize that your journey is not meant to mirror anyone else's. You stop looking outward for confirmation and instead find satisfaction in knowing you are moving in the direction that feels most genuine to you. Choosing inner vision over outer validation also requires a willingness to let go of the fear of being misunderstood. Not everyone will see or understand your path, and that is perfectly fine. So, inner vision is not about seeking to be understood or accepted. It is about being true to yourself, even if that truth is visible only to you. This requires a certain resilience, a faith in your own perception and experience that does not rely on others' acknowledgement. Over time, as you continue to prioritize your inner vision, you develop a quiet confidence and knowing that you are capable of finding your way without needing approval at every turn. One of the greatest rewards of inner vision is that it leads to genuine self-respect. When you make choices aligned with your inner vision, you respect your own values, desires, and intuition. This self-respect becomes a powerful foundation, one that outer validation cannot offer. With it, you stand taller, speak with conviction, and live with a sense of purpose that is unshakable. You are no longer swayed by every passing trend or opinion, for you have found a source of validation that is both lasting and true your own. Choosing inner vision over outer validation is an act of profound self-trust. It's a commitment to live life in a way that is meaningful to you, regardless of how it might be perceived. This is not an easy path, but it is deeply rewarding, for it allows you to experience life with a richness and depth that cannot be achieved by seeking approval from others. Inner vision frees you from the limitations of outer validation, allowing you to walk your path with courage, confidence, and the assurance that you are guided by the clearest vision there is your own. It is often misinterpreted as loneliness, as though being alone means lacking something essential. However, solitude and loneliness are two vastly different states of being. Solitude is an active choice, a deliberate embrace of one's own company. It's a form of strength that reveals itself when you allow yourself to step away from the constant noise and distractions of the outside world. When you choose solitude, you are not isolating yourself out of necessity or deprivation. Instead, you are connecting more deeply with your inner self. In solitude, you cultivate a strength that cannot be found in the presence of others, a strength rooted in self-understanding, resilience, and authenticity. To embrace solitude as strength is to recognize that true growth often happens when we are alone. When we detach ourselves from the expectations, judgments, and influence of others, we create space to listen to our own thoughts and feelings. In this space, clarity emerges. We begin to see ourselves as we truly are, unfiltered by the opinions of those around us. Solitude is a mirror reflecting back our innermost desires, fears, and aspirations, free from the distortions that arise from constant external feedback. When you can face yourself fully in moments of solitude, you develop an unshakable sense of who you are, what you want, and what truly matters to you. Embracing solitude also allows you to experience life more fully, without the filters of others' expectations or opinions. In the company of others, it's natural to adjust our behavior, often subtly, to align with the group. But when you are alone, there is no need for pretension or performance. You can be wholly and authentically yourself. This authenticity deepens your connection with your true self, helping you to understand and embrace every facet of your personality. In solitude, you discover that you are a complete individual, not defined by your relationships or your role in a group. You become free to explore your true nature, your dreams, and your strengths without interference. Solitude helps to build emotional resilience. When you learn to be comfortable in your own company, you become less dependent on others to fulfill your emotional needs. This doesn't mean you reject connection or avoid relationships, but it does mean that you no longer need others to complete you. You have developed the capacity to find fulfillment within yourself. This emotional resilience gives you a steady foundation. Even if people come and go from your life, you remain rooted in a sense of wholeness that no one can take away. Embracing solitude as strength requires a shift in perspective. Society often sends the message that solitude is something to be avoided, a state of incompleteness. But solitude is, in fact, a profound opportunity to reclaim your inner power. When you learn to find joy, contentment, and strength in your own company, you are liberated from the fear of being alone. You no longer feel the need to seek companionship merely as a distraction or escape. Instead, your relationships become an extension of your wholeness, not a requirement for it. In solitude, you recognize that your worth and value do not depend on the presence of others. Over time, solitude becomes a source of renewal, a place where you return to center yourself. Life can be demanding, and we are often pulled in many directions, our attention fragmented by endless responsibilities and demands. Solitude allows you to step back, to recharge, and to reconnect with what truly matters to you. In this space you find clarity, peace, and a reminder of your purpose. Solitude is not an absence, but a fullness of self that empowers you to face the world with greater strength and resilience. There is a deep-seated belief that guidance must come from the outside, from some higher authority, a teacher, or a trusted voice. We look outward for answers, seeking clarity in places and people around us. Yet the truth is that divine guidance lies within each of us, accessible at any moment we choose to listen. This guidance is not a distant force or something we must chase or prove worthy of. It is an ever-present wisdom within us, waiting patiently for us to recognize its voice. This inner guidance, often drowned out by the noise of our busy lives and the doubts that cloud our minds, holds the answers to our deepest questions and desires. To understand that divine guidance lies within is to realize that we are inherently connected to a source of wisdom that is profoundly personal, limitless, and entirely our own. Learning to trust in this inner guidance requires a shift from looking outward to looking inward. It's a journey of peeling back layers of self-doubt, societal expectations, and fears that keep us disconnected from our intuition. Many are hesitant to turn inward, afraid that they might find emptiness or confusion. But inner guidance does not come through logic or reasoning alone. It comes from a place of quiet knowing, from a depth that exists beyond words and definitions. This is the divine voice within you, the one that does not need approval, the one that speaks with clarity when you silence the external clamor and allow yourself to truly listen. The beauty of this inner guidance is that it is uniquely suited to you. Unlike external advice, which may or may not align with your true self, divine guidance flows directly from the essence of who you are. It knows your dreams, your desires, and your potential. It does not need to be convinced or persuaded because it is already in tune with your soul's purpose. This inner wisdom arises from a place that is beyond time, beyond circumstance. It knows what is right for you in this moment and in every moment to come. When you allow yourself to tap into this wisdom, you find that your choices become clearer, your path more aligned, and your steps filled with confidence. Trusting in inner guidance requires a certain faith, not in something outside yourself, but in the quiet power that resides within. This trust is not blind, it is built through experience, through each moment where you follow your intuition and realize that it led you exactly where you needed to be. Divine guidance may not always lead you to the easiest path, but it will lead you to the one that fulfills you most deeply. Sometimes it challenges you to step outside your comfort zone, to take risks, or to confront aspects of yourself that you might prefer to avoid. But each step in alignment with your inner wisdom brings growth, self-understanding, and ultimately, a life that feels true to you. Many people wonder how to recognize this inner guidance. How can they tell the difference between divine intuition and fleeting thoughts or fears? The voice of divine guidance is gentle but unwavering. It does not shout or insist. It speaks quietly, yet with an authority that resonates at the core of your being. When you feel this kind of quiet certainty, you are often experiencing the whisper of your inner wisdom. The challenge is not in hearing it, but in trusting it, especially when it suggests a path that defies logic or contradicts the opinions of those around you. True inner guidance will always lead you towards a place of peace and authenticity, even if the journey there seems uncertain. This journey to connect with inner guidance requires practice and patience. Meditation, reflection, and simply allowing yourself moments of quiet throughout your day can help you tune into this deeper wisdom. When you give yourself permission to step away from the demands and distractions of daily life, you create space for divine guidance to emerge. These moments of stillness are not empty, they are filled with the possibility of clarity, with the potential to reveal truths that have been buried beneath layers of doubt and fear. In this space, you come to understand that you do not need to seek guidance externally because you have access to a wellspring of insight within you. Living from a place of inner guidance is empowering. It releases you from the constant need for validation and approval. You no longer feel the pressure to conform to others' expectations or to seek answers in every book or mentor. You become your own source of direction, capable of navigating life's twists and turns with grace. Divine guidance does not mean that life will be free from challenges, but it does mean that you will face those challenges with a sense of purpose and strength that comes from within. When you live from this place of inner wisdom, you realize that you are already enough, that you possess within you all you need to create a fulfilling life. The true essence of divine guidance lies in its simplicity. It does not complicate, it clarifies. It does not demand, it suggests with gentleness. This guidance is a gift, a sacred connection to the source of life within you. It asks only that you trust in its voice, that you believe in the depth of your own wisdom, and that you allow yourself to be led by your heart rather than by fear or doubt. Divine guidance is an invitation to live with authenticity, courage, and grace, embracing each moment as an opportunity to deepen your connection with the self. When you choose to listen to and trust this inner guidance, you become aligned with a truth that cannot be shaken. You are guided by a force that knows your potential, that sees your dreams, and that supports you unconditionally. In embracing the divine guidance within, you find that you no longer need to search for answers outside yourself. You are whole, complete, and fully capable of creating a life that reflects the depth and beauty of your unique soul. This is the power of divine guidance to bring you back to yourself, to remind you that everything you seek is already within, waiting patiently for you to listen. Often perceived as a state to be avoided, can instead be a powerful means of refinement. In a world full of noise, demands, and constant interaction, isolation provides an opportunity for deep personal growth and transformation that is otherwise difficult to achieve. When willingly embraced, isolation becomes an invitation to strip away the distractions that dilute our essence, allowing us to reconnect with our authentic selves. Through this deliberate separation from external influences, we can identify, confront, and ultimately refine our innermost beliefs, values, and purpose. To refine oneself through isolation is to step away from the clutter of expectations, those imposed by society, family, friends, and even our own conditioned mind. These expectations often cloud our perception of who we are and what we desire. When you enter a state of isolation, you detach from the identities others have projected onto you. You are no longer someone's colleague, friend, or family member, but simply yourself, a person with unique thoughts, dreams, and questions. This shift can be disorienting, as it forces you to face aspects of yourself that may have been hidden or neglected. However, in that discomfort lies the seed of transformation. Isolation allows you to sift through the layers of conditioning, shedding what no longer serves you, and revealing the core of who you truly are. The process of refinement through isolation is akin to a craftsman polishing a rough stone. Each moment spent in solitude, reflecting and confronting one's thoughts, reveals another facet of the self. In isolation, you may uncover fears, insecurities, or unresolved emotions that have long lingered beneath the surface. Without the distractions of the external world, there is nowhere for these emotions to hide. This can be challenging, even painful, as it demands that you sit with yourself without the usual escapes. But rather than something to fear, this confrontation is an essential step toward growth. Only by acknowledging and processing these buried aspects can you release their hold on you, creating space for greater clarity and peace. Fosters self-sufficiency. In the absence of constant feedback from others, you learn to rely on your own judgment and intuition. This self-reliance is a powerful form of refinement, as it teaches you to make choices that are aligned with your true desires, rather than those that seek approval or acceptance. When you trust yourself, you cultivate inner strength that is unshakable by external opinions or criticism. You begin to understand that your worth and your path are not contingent on the validation of others, but are grounded in your own intrinsic value. This inner strength becomes a foundation on which you can build a life that is authentic and fulfilling. Isolation allows you to deepen your understanding of what truly matters to you. In the stillness, you gain perspective on your relationships, goals, and values. You can assess your life from a place of detachment, seeing clearly what aligns with your purpose and what does not. This process is not about cutting ties or abandoning commitments, but about refining your focus. You identify the relationships that uplift you and the pursuits that ignite your passion, shedding those that drain or distract you. In doing so, you begin to curate a life that reflects your highest aspirations. Isolation also enhances creativity and innovation. Away from the influence of others, your mind is free to explore ideas, visions, and perspectives that are uniquely your own. Creativity often flourishes in solitude because there is space for experimentation without judgment. When you are alone, you can pursue your thoughts to their depths, allowing your imagination to roam freely. This freedom to create without inhibition is a gift of isolation, one that has fueled the creativity of countless artists, thinkers, and leaders throughout history. In isolation, you cultivate a wellspring of originality, discovering ideas and insights that might never emerge in a crowd. Refinement through isolation is a process that builds resilience. When you learn to sit with yourself, facing both your strengths and your weaknesses, you become comfortable with your own company. You no longer need to seek distractions or constant interaction to feel complete. This sense of self-sufficiency fosters resilience, allowing you to handle life's challenges with greater composure and independence. Even when life's storms arise, you remain grounded, secure in your ability to navigate them without relying on others to define or complete you. Isolation brings about an awakening of self-awareness. It strips away the layers that obscure your understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. In this space, you are left with a raw, honest version of yourself, a self that is resilient, creative, and self-reliant. This refined self can step back into the world not as a fragmented being defined by roles or expectations, but as a complete, authentic individual. Isolation, then, is not an end but a powerful tool for transformation, allowing you to return to the world with a renewed sense of purpose, clarity, and confidence. Refinement through isolation also fosters a profound sense of peace. By spending time alone, you learn to find contentment within yourself. You realize that true peace is not something that comes from external circumstances or relationships, but from a place of inner alignment. This peace becomes a steady presence, one that remains with you even in the company of others, guiding your interactions and decisions from a place of authenticity. You no longer seek fulfillment from external sources, because you have discovered a sense of completeness within. When embraced, is a journey of becoming. It is not a retreat from life, but a deepening into oneself, an opportunity to become the person you were always meant to be. Through isolation, you refine your purpose, strengthen your resolve, and reconnect with the limitless potential that resides within you. This journey is challenging, but it is also profoundly rewarding, for it brings you face to face with the power, wisdom, and peace that have always been within, waiting patiently to be revealed. In a world of constant connection, the discipline of intentional separation offers a transformative path to clarity, self-discovery, and inner strength. This practice is not about isolating oneself indefinitely or rejecting society. Rather, it's about creating purposeful distance from external influences that often cloud our thoughts and distract us from our true purpose. Intentional separation involves setting aside moments or periods of solitude to reconnect with our core values and intentions, allowing us to shed the layers of expectations and obligations that can obscure our sense of self. It's a form of discipline that demands courage, for it requires us to step away from the familiar and face ourselves fully, without the comforting noise of distraction. Intentional separation begins with the recognition that clarity arises in silence. When we are constantly engaged with the world through social media, work, social obligations, or even casual interactions, it becomes challenging to discern our own voice from the voices of others. We may begin to mistake our desires for the aspirations others have for us, or to measure our worth through the lens of external validation. This habitual connection to the world can gradually dilute our inner vision, pulling us away from the unique path we are meant to walk. Through intentional separation, we deliberately withdraw from this noise, creating a sanctuary where our own thoughts and feelings can surface unfiltered. In these moments of solitude, we allow our inner voice to speak with clarity and strength, revealing insights that are often inaccessible in the rush of daily life. Practicing the discipline of separation also encourages profound self-awareness. When we are alone, removed from the expectations of others, we begin to see ourselves more honestly. Intentional separation reveals aspects of our personality, our patterns, and even our fears that are easier to overlook in the company of others. So, we may become aware of our tendencies to seek approval, to hide certain aspects of ourselves, or to prioritize goals that don't truly resonate with our heart. This self-awareness is crucial for growth, because it lays bare the areas where we may need healing, acceptance, or change. By regularly creating space for intentional separation, we develop a deeper understanding of our motivations, ultimately leading to more authentic choices and actions. Separation is a discipline that strengthens our resilience. In the silence of solitude, we confront the discomforts we often avoid. This may include feelings of loneliness, self-doubt, or unresolved emotions. While these encounters can be uncomfortable, they also teach us how to sit with ourselves without needing to escape or distract. This resilience, cultivated through facing our inner world, becomes a valuable asset in life. When challenges or disappointments arise, we are less likely to seek validation or comfort outside ourselves because we've learned to find stability within. Through the discipline of separation, we come to realize that our strength does not depend on external factors or relationships. It is something we carry within us, accessible at all times. Separation also allows us to reconnect with our purpose. In the busyness of life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We may find ourselves caught up in activities, routines, or even relationships that drain our energy or lead us away from our core values. Through intentional separation, we give ourselves the chance to reflect on these aspects of our lives, examining whether they align with our deeper purpose. This practice can be profoundly clarifying, illuminating the pursuits that bring us genuine fulfillment and those that do not. In this reflective space, we may uncover new goals, rediscover passions, or even realize that certain paths we've been following no longer serve us. Intentional separation becomes a time to realign with what is meaningful, allowing us to move forward with renewed focus and dedication. Practicing the discipline of intentional separation ultimately leads to a stronger sense of self-reliance. By periodically detaching from others' opinions and influences, we learn to trust our own judgment. This trust is invaluable because it empowers us to make decisions that are true to ourselves rather than swayed by societal pressures or the approval of others. When you become comfortable with intentional separation, you begin to rely on your own inner compass. You no longer feel the need to constantly check if you're on the right path according to others' standards. Instead, you feel a quiet confidence, a knowing that you are guided by something deeper, something uniquely yours. Separation is also a way to reclaim our personal power. By stepping away from the demands and distractions that pull at us, we take control of our time, our energy, and our attention. This is a powerful act, for it affirms that our lives are ours to direct. When we dedicate time to being alone, to nurturing our inner world, we assert our autonomy. We choose to invest in ourselves, not out of selfishness, but out of respect for our own growth and well-being. This sense of self-directedness empowers us to live a life that feels genuinely fulfilling and aligned with our truest values. The discipline of intentional separation fosters a lasting sense of peace. When you are constantly engaged with the external world, there is a tendency to get caught up in its chaos, to absorb its anxieties and insecurities. But in intentional separation, you find a refuge, a space of stillness where you can reconnect with a sense of calm that transcends external circumstances. This inner peace is not fragile, it is enduring because it is rooted in your own being. It becomes a place you can return to whenever you need to reset, to find balance, or to remember what truly matters. Intentional separation is a powerful discipline, one that offers clarity, resilience, self-reliance, and peace. It is a practice that reminds you of your inherent worth, your inner strength, and your unique path. By embracing this discipline, you gain the freedom to live authentically, unburdened by the need to conform or seek constant validation. Through intentional separation, you find yourself again, and in doing so, you emerge with a renewed sense of purpose, ready to engage with the world from a place of true self-alignment. Faith in one's own power is a quiet yet transformative force, a strength that springs from deep within and fuels resilience, self-confidence, and purpose. It's not merely a belief in one's abilities, but a profound trust in one's capacity to shape their reality, to influence outcomes, and to rise above limitations. In a world that often encourages reliance on external validation, cultivating faith in one's own power is a return to the self-realization that everything needed for fulfillment, peace, and success already exists within. This faith is an unshakable foundation, a steady assurance that you are enough as you are and capable of achieving what you set out to do. This faith begins with self-awareness. To have faith in one's power, one must first know themselves beyond surface identities, social roles, and transient desires. When you truly know yourself, you're less likely to be swayed by opinions or deterred by challenges. Instead, you move with purpose because your actions are rooted in a deep understanding of your strengths, values, and unique perspective. This inner awareness becomes a compass, guiding you through life with a sense of clarity and conviction. You come to recognize your potential, not as a fleeting quality, but as an intrinsic part of who you are. Faith in your own power is therefore inseparable from knowing and accepting yourself fully. Self-doubt can be one of the greatest obstacles to believing in your own power, but it is also a powerful teacher. Rather than trying to eradicate self-doubt entirely, recognize it as an invitation to strengthen your faith. Doubts will arise, they are a natural part of growth. Instead of viewing doubt as a weakness, use it as a catalyst for self-reflection. Ask yourself why certain fears or uncertainties persist. Often these doubts point to areas where you can cultivate greater confidence and resilience. By facing your doubts directly, you prevent them from undermining your faith. You come to understand that doubt doesn't diminish your power, it provides an opportunity to deepen it by overcoming inner resistance. Faith in your power is also nurtured through consistent action. It's not enough to simply believe in yourself, you must take steps that reflect that belief. Each action, no matter how small, is a testament to your commitment to yourself. These actions build momentum, gradually reinforcing your faith in what you are capable of. Through action, you move from the realm of potential to reality, demonstrating to yourself and others that you are willing to turn dreams into tangible outcomes. When you consistently show up for yourself, even when circumstances are challenging, you prove that your power is not just a possibility but a living, breathing reality. Faith in your own power requires a willingness to take risks and embrace failure. Failure is not a reflection of inadequacy, but a part of the learning process, a stepping stone to mastery. When you have faith in your power, you understand that setbacks are temporary, and that every experience, whether successful or not, contributes to your growth. This perspective frees you from the fear of making mistakes or falling short. Instead, you become resilient, knowing that your worth and potential are not diminished by outcomes. You trust in your ability to learn, adapt, and move forward, making each experience a building block for your success. This faith also fosters a profound sense of independence. When you believe in your own power, you are less reliant on others' opinions or approval. You become the primary source of your own confidence and direction. This doesn't mean that you reject others' support or advice, but rather that you are grounded in your own decisions and path. Your actions come from a place of inner assurance, rather than external influence. This independence is liberating, for it allows you to pursue what is meaningful to you without the need to conform or compromise to please others. You live from a place of self-trust, guided by your own convictions. Faith in your own power leads to a life of purpose and fulfillment. When you trust in yourself, you are able to pursue goals and dreams that resonate deeply with your heart. This pursuit is not driven by a desire for validation, but by a genuine desire to express your unique potential and make a meaningful impact. You recognize that you have the power to contribute something valuable to the world, whether through creativity, compassion, leadership, or wisdom. This sense of purpose becomes a source of joy and motivation, sustaining you through both highs and lows. Faith in your own power is not about ego or superiority, it is about honoring the potential within you, respecting your capacity to create, to learn, and to evolve. It is about standing firm in the understanding that you are enough, just as you are, and that everything you need for fulfillment and growth is already within. With this faith, you become unstoppable, for you are no longer hindered by fear, self-doubt, or the need for approval. You are free to live authentically, to pursue your dreams, and to contribute to the world in ways that are uniquely yours. Through this faith, you become the creator of your own life, a powerful force for good, rooted in the unshakable knowledge of your own worth and potential. By recognizing and overcoming self-doubt, taking purposeful action, and viewing failure as a stepping stone rather than a setback, we reinforce our faith in ourselves. This faith empowers us to live authentically, to pursue our passions, and to contribute meaningfully to the world. Ultimately, it leads us to a life rich with purpose and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the power that lies within each of us. May you continue to nurture your inner strength, embrace the journey of self-discovery, and trust in your own unique potential. Today, let us explore a power often overlooked, a power you carry in every word you speak. It is the power to shape your life, to mold your reality, to fill your world with abundance and light. That power lies in blessing yourself. Words are not mere sounds that fill the air, they are tools of creation, the very breath of life woven into language. When you speak, you set in motion a powerful force that reaches far beyond your immediate awareness. To understand this is to hold the key to transforming your life, for the words you speak are as real as any action you take, and their impact on your reality is profound. Each word you utter has a life of its own, vibrating with energy, taking form in ways that the logical mind cannot always perceive. Think of the spoken word as an invisible architect. Every sentence, every affirmation, every declaration shapes your inner and outer world. When you say, "I am capable," you are planting a seed within yourself, one that begins to grow roots, branching out into every aspect of your life. But if, on the other hand, you say, "I am worthless," you are planting a different kind of seed, one that darkens your inner landscape, reinforcing doubts and fears. Words, then, are not neutral. They carry a specific energy, either building or eroding the foundation of your life. 2. The subtle effect words have on your mind and body. When you speak positively to yourself, encouraging your spirit with words of kindness and strength, your entire being responds. Your mind becomes calm, your heart opens, and even your body aligns with this positive energy, creating health and vitality. But when you speak in anger, in judgment, in despair, your body contracts, your mind grows unsettled, and your spirit feels burdened. Words are like signals sent directly to the deepest parts of who you are, guiding your physical, mental, and spiritual states. This is why words must be chosen with care. They are powerful tools, capable of building worlds or tearing them down. When you begin to understand this, you no longer speak carelessly or utter phrases that contradict your desires. You begin to treat words as sacred, knowing that every phrase, every sentence is an opportunity to create a new reality. This awareness changes everything. It transforms how you talk to yourself, how you speak to others, and even how you think. Thoughts are silent words, and they, too, carry the same creative force. To think is to speak within, setting in motion the wheels of creation. Imagine how different your life would be if you took a moment before speaking, if you paused to feel the energy of your words. Instead of saying, "I can't," you might say, "I am on my way." Instead of saying, "I am stuck," you could say, "I am learning." These shifts may seem subtle, but they are profound. With every empowering word, you are programming your mind, training it to see possibilities rather than obstacles. And as you speak these words into the world, they become declarations of intent, signals sent into the field of potential, aligning circumstances to fulfill your vision. The power of the spoken word is also power to heal. When you speak love, forgiveness, and acceptance, you mend the parts of yourself that feel broken or wounded. Saying "I am worthy" to yourself is an act of self-compassion, a balm to the spirit that restores your sense of purpose and dignity. Similarly, when you speak kindness to others, you elevate them, touching their lives with words that heal and uplift. Every kind word, every blessing, is a ripple that spreads outwards, touching lives in ways you may never fully know. You are, in a sense, a healer through your words, offering solace and strength, not just to yourself but to everyone around you. And so, speak consciously. Let your words reflect the life you want to live, the person you want to be. Speak not as though you are casting wishes to the wind, but as though you are declaring truths that are destined to become real. Speak blessings upon yourself, upon your loved ones, upon the world, for these words are the seeds of transformation. They carry within them the potential to reshape lives, to lift spirits, to manifest dreams. You are the creator, and your words are the tools. With every sentence, you shape the essence of your existence. Know this, and let each word be an act of creation, a step toward the reality you desire. When you harness the power of the spoken word, you align with the fundamental creative force of life itself, becoming a co-creator of the beauty, the joy, and the abundance that await you. Self-blessing is a profound act of self-discovery, a journey inward, where you uncover layers of your true self. In blessing yourself, you are not simply affirming your worth or declaring your desires, you are connecting with the core of your being, recognizing the divinity within. This practice shifts your perception, turning your gaze inward to discover parts of yourself that often remain hidden beneath the noise of everyday life and the voices of external expectations. When you bless yourself, you invite a recognition of your own inherent value, a sacred moment in which you acknowledge yourself as worthy of love, success, and fulfillment. This act is a declaration that you are not defined by circumstances or the judgments of others, but by the essence within you that is eternally whole, vibrant, and connected to all that is. In self-blessing, you shed limiting beliefs and discover a version of yourself untouched by doubt or fear. You realize that these blessings are not wishes or hopes, but statements of truth. You affirm that you are already whole, already abundant, already capable. This shift is liberating because it reveals a version of you that transcends societal labels and personal limitations. To bless oneself is to look past the temporary struggles, insecurities, and perceived flaws, and instead to see oneself as one truly is a powerful being with unlimited potential. This moment of recognition becomes a gateway to understanding and experiencing the deeper layers of your consciousness, where you are not defined by your past or your struggles, but by the purity of your essence. Each time you bless yourself, you affirm your right to exist in peace and joy, unburdened by self-doubt. The act of self-blessing dismantles the mental blocks we place upon ourselves and erases the need for outside validation. When you say, "I am enough," or "I am worthy of love," you claim an inner power that is beyond the reach of external influences. You discover that you do not need permission from the world to feel whole, to feel complete, to feel abundant. This realization is a profound moment of self-empowerment. In blessing yourself, you are declaring independence from the voices that once held you back, the self-imposed restrictions, and the opinions of others that may have cast shadows on your self-worth. This journey of self-blessing is, in essence, the journey of self-liberation. Furthermore, self-blessing brings you into alignment with your higher self, the part of you that holds the wisdom of the ages, that knows no fear or lack. When you speak blessings upon yourself, you tap into this higher consciousness, bridging the gap between your earthly self and your divine nature. You begin to recognize that you are not just the sum of your actions, but an embodiment of infinite potential. In this state, your words become like keys, unlocking aspects of your soul that yearn to be seen and heard. The more you engage in this practice, the more you access an inner wisdom that reveals truths about who you are, why you are here, and what your soul is meant to achieve. Self-blessing is also a powerful tool for healing. As you bless yourself, you invite peace and love to flow into areas of pain, trauma, and insecurity. You may notice that as you continue to bless yourself, old wounds begin to lose their power over you. Where there was once self-criticism, you find compassion. Where there was insecurity, you find confidence. This process is not about denying the difficulties you faced or pretending that pain doesn't exist. Rather, it is about choosing to see yourself as worthy of healing and as capable of rising above any circumstance. In this sense, self-blessing becomes an act of radical self-acceptance, a declaration that you are complete, even with your scars and imperfections. As you continue this journey of self-discovery, you begin to understand that self-blessing is not a selfish act. It is an act of honoring your soul, respecting the divine within, and nurturing the life you were meant to live. You realize that by affirming your own worth, you create a ripple effect that touches every area of your life. Relationships improve, confidence grows, and you feel more attuned to the flow of life. When you know your own value, you attract experiences and people that resonate with this newfound understanding of yourself. In discovering your worth, you unconsciously inspire others to do the same, becoming a beacon of authenticity and self-love. Self-blessing leads you to a place of gratitude, where you recognize that every part of your journey, every hardship, and every joy has brought you closer to understanding your true self. You see that each blessing you speak upon yourself is a step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Self-blessing transforms from an act into a way of being, where every thought, word, and action reflects a deep love and respect for yourself. Self-blessing is a journey of self-discovery that reveals a truth that cannot be taken away by anyone or anything outside of you. It reminds you that the power to create, to love, and to thrive lies within you. This journey teaches you to look within for the answers, to find solace and strength in your own presence, and to live as the truest expression of who you are. In blessing yourself, you uncover a boundless love that was always there, waiting patiently for you to recognize it and embrace it fully. Your worthiness is an act of self-recognition, an acknowledgement of the intrinsic value you hold simply by being alive. It goes beyond external achievements, societal validation, or the approval of others. It is a deep-rooted understanding that you are inherently deserving of love, joy, and fulfillment. When you affirm your worthiness, you move away from the constant seeking of validation outside yourself and turn inward, connecting with a truth that is untouched by the opinions of the world. This act of self-affirmation is transformative because it liberates you from the belief that you must earn your right to exist or that you must prove your value through endless striving. Affirming your worthiness is to remember and embrace the fact that you are enough as you are. The journey toward worthiness often involves unlearning messages that have suggested otherwise. Many people grow up internalizing beliefs that their worth depends on their success, appearance, or how well they meet others' expectations. These beliefs are often reinforced by societal norms, which create a standard that can feel impossible to meet. However, affirming your worthiness is a process of reclaiming your power from these limiting ideas. It is an act of courage, a conscious decision to believe that you are deserving of all good things, not because you have proven yourself, but because you are a unique and valuable part of the world. You are worthy because you exist, and nothing can take that away from you. Your worthiness is not about denying areas of growth or improvement, nor is it about complacency. Instead, it is about realizing that you are worthy of self-love and respect at every stage of your journey, even as you strive to become a better version of yourself. This understanding shifts how you approach life. Rather than chasing accomplishments to validate your worth, you begin to set goals that align with your passions and desires, recognizing that you are already whole and complete. You start to act not from a place of lack or inadequacy, but from a place of abundance and self-trust. In affirming your worth, you cultivate a mindset that fuels growth and confidence, enabling you to pursue your dreams without the need for external validation. The act of affirming worthiness has a powerful impact on your inner dialogue. Self-talk, or the ongoing conversation you have with yourself, becomes a mirror of your self-worth. When you affirm your worth, you replace harsh self-criticism with compassion and acceptance. Instead of telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I don't deserve this," you begin to say, "I am capable, I am deserving, and I am enough." This shift in language reprograms your mind, reinforcing positive beliefs about yourself that, over time, become deeply rooted. With each affirmation, you are nurturing a garden of self-worth, allowing it to flourish and grow strong against the negative influences that may arise. Affirming your worthiness also affects how you relate to others. When you believe in your own value, you no longer seek validation through relationships or allow others to define your worth. You begin to set healthier boundaries, knowing that you deserve respect and kindness. This sense of worthiness enables you to show up authentically, free from the need to mold yourself to fit others' expectations. Your relationships become more fulfilling as you attract people who recognize and honor your value, creating a sense of mutual respect and genuine connection. By affirming your worth, you are inviting others to do the same, fostering relationships that are based on true appreciation rather than superficial validation. Another transformative effect of affirming your worthiness is the freedom it brings from the fear of failure. When you are anchored in a belief in your own value, you no longer view failure as a reflection of your worth. Instead, you see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. This mindset shifts how you approach challenges and risks, allowing you to pursue your passions with courage and resilience. You begin to understand that your worth is not diminished by setbacks or mistakes, and you no longer let the fear of failure hold you back. This freedom is a powerful catalyst for growth, empowering you to step into your full potential and create a life that reflects your truest desires. Affirming worthiness is also a foundation for gratitude. When you see yourself as worthy, you start to appreciate the gifts within and around you. you recognize the beauty of life and your own role within it. Gratitude becomes a natural expression of your worthiness, as you acknowledge that you are deserving of the joy, love, and opportunities that come your way. This attitude of gratitude deepens your connection to life, helping you to live in harmony with yourself and others. You begin to see that worthiness is not something you have to chase, it is something you can embrace in every moment, grounding you in a state of peace and contentment. Affirming your worthiness is a return to your authentic self. It is a journey inward, a reawakening to the truth that you are enough. This sense of worth does not come from accomplishments or possessions, it comes from within, from the realization that you are inherently valuable. By affirming your worthiness, you are honoring your existence, celebrating the unique qualities that make you who you are. This practice transforms every aspect of your life, empowering you to live fully, love deeply, and pursue your dreams with confidence. You are worthy, and this truth, when embraced, has the power to illuminate your path and elevate your entire existence. Releasing negativity through blessings is a powerful, transformative practice that shifts your focus from pain and resentment to compassion and acceptance. Blessings act as a gentle yet potent means of letting go, a way to cleanse your spirit and renew your energy. When you choose to bless rather than curse a difficult situation, person, or memory, you turn away from cycles of anger, judgment, and resentment that weigh heavily on the heart. Blessing is an act of liberation, an acknowledgement that you no longer wish to carry burdens that do not serve you. By offering blessings instead of harboring negativity, you invite healing, both within yourself and in your external reality. It is an act of surrender, of giving yourself permission to release what holds you back and to make space for peace. The act of blessing can be simple yet profound. It doesn't require elaborate rituals or the presence of others. It only requires a willing heart. To bless someone or something that has caused you pain is not about denying your experience or pretending it didn't hurt. Rather, it is an acknowledgement that holding on to bitterness only harms you in the end. When you bless, you rise above the hurt and transform it into a stepping stone for your growth. It's a way of saying, I release you, I release this pain, I choose peace over resentment. Each blessing you send out into the world becomes a wave of positive energy that lifts you up, helping you to transcend negativity and see life from a higher perspective. Negativity through blessings begins with yourself. Often we carry self-blame, guilt, and regret for actions we wish we could change. These emotions linger in our minds, weighing us down, making it difficult to move forward. By blessing yourself, you break the cycle of self-judgment and allow healing to flow into your being. You might say, I bless myself for all that I am, and I release myself from the past. This simple statement is a powerful act of self-compassion, a reminder that you are worthy of forgiveness and understanding. As you bless yourself, you begin to see that each mistake, each stumble, was a part of your journey, a lesson meant to guide you, not define you. Self-blessing helps you release the shackles of the past, giving you the freedom to embrace the present with an open heart. Blessing others, especially those who have hurt or wronged you, can feel challenging, even counterintuitive. However, this act is one of the most liberating gifts you can give yourself. When you bless someone who has caused you pain, you are not condoning their actions, you are choosing to free yourself from the chains of resentment. Resentment is a form of attachment, a link that binds you to the person or situation in a way that continually drains your energy. By blessing them, you dissolve that attachment, allowing yourself to move forward without the weight of bitterness. You might silently say, I bless you and I release you from my heart. This blessing transforms your relationship with the past, turning it from a source of pain into a pathway to peace. This practice of blessing as a means to release negativity can also be applied to challenging situations in your life. Whether it's a job loss, a failed relationship, or an unfulfilled dream, blessings allow you to see the hidden gifts in every experience. Rather than focusing on what went wrong or what could have been, you shift your perspective to gratitude and growth. You might say, I bless this situation for all it has taught me, and I release it with peace. This blessing is a way of acknowledging that every experience, no matter how difficult, contributes to your journey and your understanding of yourself. As you release the negative energy tied to the experience, you create space for new opportunities, for healing, and for personal evolution. Through blessing, you cultivate a mindset of compassion and resilience. You begin to see life not as a series of random hardships, but as a meaningful journey where each encounter holds lessons for your soul's growth. Blessing as a practice deepens your empathy, for as you bless others, you recognize the struggles they, too, may face. This compassion extends outward, allowing you to release judgment and connect with a sense of shared humanity. You realize that everyone, in their own way, is seeking peace and happiness, and that your blessings can contribute to that collective healing. Releasing negativity through blessings also changes your relationship with yourself. As you practice this regularly, you'll notice a lightness, a new clarity in your thoughts and emotions. Instead of being weighed down by anger or fear, you feel empowered, rooted in a peace that cannot be shaken by outside forces. You begin to see that your inner state is your choice, that while you may not control every situation, you can always choose how to respond. This awareness transforms your life, giving you the courage to face challenges with grace and the wisdom to let go of what no longer serves you. The practice of blessing as a means to release negativity is a path to inner freedom. By blessing yourself, others, and your experiences, you align with a powerful energy that transcends pain and moves toward healing and wholeness. You realize that by releasing negativity, you are choosing to honor your own well-being, to step into a space of love and peace that radiates outward. Each blessing is a small yet profound act of creation, a declaration that you are ready to live free from the burdens of resentment and anger. In this space, you find true liberation, a freedom that brings you closer to the essence of who you are: peaceful, loving, and infinitely whole. In the feeling of fulfillment is a transformative way of experiencing life, one that allows you to embody your desires as though they are already reality. This mindset is not about ignoring reality, but about aligning your internal state with the outcomes you wish to see in your world. By choosing to feel fulfilled, you shift your energy, outlook, and actions in a way that attracts opportunities and circumstances to match your inner state. Living in fulfillment becomes a powerful way to create a life of joy, abundance, and peace, regardless of what is happening externally. When you live in this feeling, you tap into a sense of inner satisfaction and completeness, a knowing that you are already whole, and that everything you desire is already within reach. This sense of fulfillment comes from a deep trust in the process of life. Rather than feeling anxious or desperate for results, you cultivate a state of contentment that says, "I already have what I need." This perspective shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is present. You begin to see your current life as abundant, filled with blessings, and recognize that every moment offers something valuable. When you feel fulfilled, you let go of the need to constantly chase after things or to wait for circumstances to change. Instead, you create a foundation of gratitude and satisfaction, where you feel deeply appreciative of what already is. This state is magnetic. It draws people, opportunities, and experiences to you that match this sense of wholeness and abundance. In the feeling of fulfillment is also a way of shaping your self-image. Often we define ourselves by what we lack or by the things we wish to achieve. But when you choose to feel fulfilled, you step into a version of yourself that is already complete. This changes the way you interact with the world. Instead of seeking validation or approval from others, you feel secure and confident within yourself. You understand that your worth is not defined by external achievements or possessions, but by an inner state of contentment. This self-image radiates a quiet confidence, a sense that you are whole and complete. When you approach life with this feeling, others sense it too, and they respond positively, drawn to the peace and assurance that fulfillment brings. In fulfillment also transforms how you respond to challenges. When you feel fulfilled, you no longer view obstacles as threats to your happiness or self-worth. Instead, you see them as opportunities to learn and grow, knowing that they do not diminish your sense of inner peace. You understand that challenges are a natural part of life and that they too can contribute to your fulfillment if you choose to see them that way. This perspective brings resilience, an ability to face difficulties without losing your balance or sense of self. You know that fulfillment is an internal state, unaffected by temporary setbacks, and this empowers you to move through life with grace and strength. This practice of living in fulfillment also allows you to be more present. When you feel fulfilled, you stop living in a future that may or may not come to pass, and you stop dwelling on the past. You become fully engaged in the here and now, recognizing that this moment is all you truly have. Each moment becomes an opportunity to connect with life, to experience the richness of what is already around you. You savor your experiences more deeply, appreciate the small joys, and find beauty in the ordinary. This presence brings a deep sense of peace and joy, as you realize that fulfillment is not something you need to chase, it is something you can experience in each moment, simply by choosing to be here, now. Living in fulfillment does not mean you stop setting goals or working towards your dreams. It means you approach these aspirations from a place of wholeness rather than lack. Instead of needing a specific outcome to feel satisfied, you feel fulfilled by the journey itself. You understand that every step you take, every effort you make, is already enriching your life. This shifts your focus from the end result to the process, allowing you to find joy and satisfaction in the actions themselves. Your goals become expressions of your inner abundance, ways to expand and share the fulfillment you already feel within. Living in the feeling of fulfillment allows you to create a life of alignment and authenticity. You are no longer driven by external pressures or societal expectations. Instead, you are guided by an inner compass, a sense of peace and contentment that comes from within. This inner fulfillment becomes the foundation of your decisions, your actions, and your relationships. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or to seek happiness outside of yourself. Instead, you bring fulfillment to every interaction and every endeavor, creating a life that is rich, meaningful, and true to who you are. In this state, you realize that fulfillment is not a destination but a way of being. It is a choice to feel whole, satisfied, and complete in each moment, regardless of external circumstances. This way of living transforms every aspect of your life, filling it with joy, peace, and abundance. Living in the feeling of fulfillment is a practice, a continual return to the truth that everything you need is already within you. By embracing this state, you open yourself to a life that is not only abundant in experiences but rich in meaning, love, and inner peace. Creating your own reality is the powerful, transformative process of shaping your life from the inside out, based on your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. It means understanding that the way you experience life is, to a large extent, a reflection of your inner world. By consciously choosing what you think, feel, and focus on, you hold the ability to influence the life you lead. This practice is not about ignoring external circumstances or avoiding challenges. Rather, it's about learning to align your inner state with the life you want to live, becoming a deliberate creator of your own experience. One of the fundamental steps in creating your reality is acknowledging the power of your thoughts. Every thought you entertain shapes your perception of the world and influences the actions you take. When you constantly think in terms of limitations, obstacles, or negativity, you are likely to experience more of the same. Your mind filters reality through your beliefs, giving more weight to evidence that matches your inner narrative and dismissing or minimizing anything that doesn't. By shifting your thoughts toward possibility, abundance, and optimism, you begin to see opportunities where you once saw roadblocks. This mental shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistency and patience. But as you practice positive thinking, you start to attract and recognize circumstances that align with this new mindset. Belief is another critical factor in creating your reality. Your beliefs form the foundation of your perceptions and actions. They are the stories you tell yourself about what is possible, what you deserve, and what you're capable of achieving. Limiting beliefs such as "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," or "things never go my way" act as invisible barriers that shape your reality in restrictive ways. To create a reality aligned with your true desires, you must examine and transform these limiting beliefs. Replacing them with empowering beliefs opens new doors and possibilities. When you believe in your potential, you act with confidence, take more risks, and pursue your goals with greater determination. This inner transformation makes it possible to create a reality where your aspirations and dreams become achievable. Emotions play an essential role in the process of reality creation as well. Your emotional state can either support or hinder your ability to manifest the life you want. Emotions are indicators of how aligned you are with your desires and values. For instance, when you feel joy, excitement, or love, you are more open, receptive, and connected to the present moment. In these emotional states, you tend to attract experiences that resonate with this positive energy. Conversely, when you dwell in fear, resentment, or worry, your perception narrows, and you are more likely to see problems than solutions. Learning to cultivate positive emotions, such as gratitude, hope, and peace, can shift your energy and help you create a reality that reflects these feelings. Another essential aspect of creating your reality is the power of visualization. Visualization is the practice of mentally picturing yourself experiencing your desired outcome, feeling the emotions you would feel if it were real. When you visualize consistently, you train your mind to expect that outcome, preparing it to take actions that lead toward that goal. Visualization aligns your subconscious mind with your conscious desires, making it a powerful tool for creating change. The more vividly and frequently you visualize your desired reality, the more your mind begins to believe it as truth, bringing that vision into alignment with your actions. Athletes, artists, and successful people in many fields use visualization to prepare mentally for success, showing that what the mind believes, the body can achieve. Taking action is perhaps the most critical step in the process. Creating your reality is not simply about thinking positively or visualizing your goals. It requires consistent action. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your desired reality. When you take inspired action fueled by excitement, passion, and belief, you move in harmony with your goals. These actions may be outside your comfort zone, but they're essential for transformation. When you combine belief, positive thoughts, and visualization with purposeful action, you align your inner and outer worlds, giving life to the reality you've envisioned. Creating your reality also involves letting go of resistance. Resistance comes in many forms, such as fear, doubt, and attachment to specific outcomes. When you cling too tightly to how things should happen, you create friction that can impede the flow of progress. By trusting the process and allowing flexibility, you open yourself to opportunities that might not align with your original expectations, but are equally beneficial. Practicing detachment doesn't mean giving up on your desires. It means releasing the need to control every detail. This openness allows the universe to work in ways you may not anticipate, often bringing you closer to your vision in surprising and beautiful ways. Gratitude is a vital component in creating your reality. When you practice gratitude, you acknowledge and appreciate what you already have, which attracts more of the same energy into your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing the belief that life is filled with good things. This state of appreciation keeps you aligned with positive energy, making it easier to stay on the path to creating a reality that reflects your highest aspirations. Expressing gratitude daily, whether for small things like a sunny day or larger accomplishments, reinforces the mindset that your life is already rich, creating a foundation for future abundance. In creating your reality, you become an active participant in the journey of your life. By aligning your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, visualization, actions, and gratitude, you transform from a passive observer into a deliberate creator. This is not just a process of changing external circumstances, but a profound inner shift toward understanding your own power. Through practice and patience, you learn that the reality you experience is within your control, shaped by your choices and perspectives. In choosing to create consciously, you step into a life of purpose, joy, and fulfillment, a life that is truly your own. At its core, gratitude is an acknowledgement of the goodness in our lives. It is a recognition of the gifts we receive, whether they come from the universe, other people, or even ourselves. When we practice gratitude, we are essentially affirming the positive aspects of our existence. This affirmation acts as a counterbalance to the negativity that can often dominate our thoughts and feelings. In a world that sometimes feels overwhelming or challenging, gratitude serves as a beacon of light, guiding us toward a more positive outlook. It helps us to appreciate the beauty in our lives, no matter how small, and encourages us to celebrate our achievements and the kindness of others. Research has shown that cultivating gratitude can lead to significant improvements in mental health. Individuals who regularly express gratitude report higher levels of happiness and satisfaction in life. They experience fewer symptoms of depression and anxiety, and they are more resilient in the face of adversity. This is because gratitude helps to rewire our brains, shifting our focus away from negativity and fostering a sense of connection with the world around us. By consciously choosing to focus on the good, we create a positive feedback loop that reinforces our sense of well-being. Each act of gratitude builds on the last, creating a momentum that propels us forward. Gratitude also enhances our relationships. When we express appreciation for others, we strengthen our bonds and deepen our connections. A simple thank you can go a long way in fostering goodwill and mutual respect. It shows others that we recognize their efforts and value their contributions to our lives. This acknowledgement can create a ripple effect, inspiring those around us to practice gratitude as well. As we cultivate a culture of gratitude in our relationships, we create an environment where kindness, support, and love can flourish. In this way, gratitude not only enriches our own lives, but also the lives of those we interact with, forming a network of positivity and encouragement. Gratitude serves as a powerful tool for personal growth and self-awareness. When we take the time to reflect on the things we are grateful for, we often uncover deeper insights into our values, priorities, and desires. This practice encourages us to examine our lives more closely and to identify what truly matters to us. It invites us to explore the aspects of our lives that we may take for granted, leading to a greater appreciation for the present moment. In recognizing the blessings that already exist in our lives, we cultivate a mindset that is open to new opportunities and experiences. Living with gratitude also encourages mindfulness. When we actively practice gratitude, we become more attuned to the present moment. We learn to appreciate the beauty of our surroundings, the kindness of others, and the simple joys that often go unnoticed. This mindfulness fosters a sense of presence that can lead to greater peace and contentment. By focusing on the here and now, we free ourselves from the burdens of past regrets and future anxieties. Gratitude grounds us, allowing us to savor life as it unfolds and to find joy in the everyday moments. Gratitude has the potential to transform our challenges into opportunities for growth. Life is full of ups and downs, and it is easy to become overwhelmed by difficulties. However, when we approach these challenges with a mindset of gratitude, we can reframe our experiences. Instead of viewing setbacks as insurmountable obstacles, we can see them as valuable lessons that contribute to our growth. Gratitude helps us to find meaning in our struggles, fostering resilience and adaptability. This shift in perspective allows us to navigate life's challenges with grace and strength, transforming adversity into a source of empowerment. Furthermore, gratitude can enhance our physical health. Studies have indicated that individuals who practice gratitude regularly tend to engage in healthier behaviors, such as exercising more and attending regular medical checkups. This is likely due to the increased sense of well-being that accompanies a grateful mindset. When we feel good emotionally, we are more inclined to take care of ourselves physically. Gratitude encourages us to honor our bodies and to nurture our overall health and wellness. By embracing gratitude as a lifestyle, we create a holistic approach to our well-being that encompasses both mind and body. Gratitude is a powerful blessing that enriches our lives in countless ways. It is an invitation to shift our focus from lack to abundance, from negativity to positivity. By cultivating gratitude, we can enhance our mental and emotional well-being, strengthen our relationships, foster personal growth, and improve our physical health. This practice encourages us to recognize the goodness that exists in our lives, reminding us that we are never truly alone in our journey. As we embrace gratitude as the ultimate blessing, we open ourselves to a life filled with joy, connection, and fulfillment. It is a practice that invites us to celebrate the richness of our experiences and to share that abundance with others. In doing so, we not only transform our own lives but contribute to a greater culture of kindness and appreciation in the world around us. Gratitude then becomes more than just an emotion. It evolves into a way of life, a guiding principle that shapes our reality and illuminates our path. In conclusion, embracing gratitude as the ultimate blessing is a transformative journey that enriches every aspect of our lives. By shifting our focus from what we lack to the abundance that surrounds us, we cultivate a mindset that fosters joy, connection, and resilience. Gratitude empowers us to acknowledge the beauty in both our successes and our challenges, enabling personal growth and deeper relationships. It invites us to be present, to savor the small moments, and to find meaning in our experiences. As we practice gratitude, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also create a ripple effect that positively impacts those around us. Thank you for taking the time to explore the profound power of gratitude with me. May we all continue to recognize and celebrate the blessings in our lives, nurturing a spirit of appreciation that transforms our reality and uplifts our communities. Let us carry this practice forward, sharing our gratitude and inspiring others to do the same. Together we can create a world filled with kindness, connection, and abundant love. Thank you. There comes a moment when the wisest action is not to act at all. Step back, let your presence become a memory, let your voice fade into silence. This isn't retreat, it's an assertion of your power. When you step back, you declare your independence from needing others to validate your worth. You no longer chase. You allow the tides to shift, for they will always. Is often misunderstood. Many think it implies a cold or disinterested withdrawal from life and relationships. But in truth, detachment is a profound act of inner freedom. To detach is to release one's tight grip on external outcomes, to let go of the endless tug-of-war that keeps our minds bound to expectations. It is not apathy. Rather, it is an empowered stance that roots itself in an understanding that everything we seek already exists within us. By no longer clinging to the approval, validation, or behavior of others, we free ourselves to live authentically, embracing an inner peace that does not rise or fall based on external circumstances. When you're truly detached, you realize that people and situations are not the source of your happiness or peace. These qualities arise from within. Attachment, however, leads to suffering because it ties your happiness to forces beyond your control. The nature of life is change. Relationships evolve. People's opinions shift and events unfold unpredictably. If your peace is dependent on any of these factors, it becomes fragile, always at risk of disruption. Detachment, therefore, is a way of aligning with the truth of life's impermanence. It allows you to embrace life fully, while not being devastated by the natural ebb and flow of experiences. Detachment does not mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you stop loving or engaging with others deeply. Instead, it means you don't cling to them. You see them as individuals on their own paths, just as you are on yours. You can still love, still connect, and still invest yourself. But there's a fundamental difference. You are no longer possessed by a need for their acceptance, agreement, or validation. This stance enables you to love more freely, with less fear, as there's no longer a desperation to make things turn out a certain way. Your love becomes unconditional because it's rooted in your own inner security, not in a need to control. Imagine the peace that comes when you stop trying to force things to go your way. Detachment is liberation from this need. It removes the weight of expectations and allows you to accept what is, rather than constantly trying to reshape life into what you believe it should be. This shift in perspective creates a deeper trust in the process, in the unseen order guiding life. You begin to see that when you detach, you invite the natural flow of life to bring what is meant for you often in ways you never could have orchestrated on your own. You open yourself to possibilities that are richer and more fulfilling than the ones your mind had envisioned, simply by stepping out of the way and letting life unfold. Detachment also allows you to respond rather than react. When you're attached to a specific outcome, it's easy to feel frustrated or anxious when things don't go as planned. You might react with anger, fear, or disappointment, which often leads to actions that only create further complications. But when you're detached, you can observe situations with a clear mind, responding calmly and wisely. You see events as neutral, as opportunities for growth, rather than as personal affronts. This clarity brings resilience, as you are no longer at the mercy of every twist and turn. In relationships, detachment can be transformative. Many of us enter relationships with unconscious expectations, assuming others will behave in ways that fulfill our own needs. When they don't, we feel hurt or betrayed, and the relationship suffers. Detachment frees you from this cycle. It lets you see the other person as they are, without projecting your desires onto them. You accept them fully, allowing for genuine connection rather than a relationship based on fulfilling conditions. Ironically, this often brings people closer, as they sense the freedom in being accepted without conditions or demands. They feel drawn to your calm and balanced energy. True detachment also means that you remain grounded in your own value. When you are attached to outcomes, you subconsciously seek validation from the external world, measuring your worth by how others perceive you or by your achievements. Detachment breaks this pattern. You come to understand that your worth is inherent, unchanging, and independent of any external validation. This self-assurance radiates outward, making you more confident and magnetic to others, who are naturally drawn to someone who exudes inner contentment and peace. In this way, detachment enhances your life by fostering relationships and opportunities that are aligned with your authentic self. There is a paradox in detachment. The more you release, the more life seems to come to you with ease. When you are no longer bound by the need for specific outcomes, you create space for new, unexpected blessings to flow into your life. You become receptive, open to the guidance and abundance of life, which can only reach you when you're not constantly trying to control its course. Detachment signals to the universe that you trust in its timing and wisdom. This trust, this surrender, draws to you the very things you once sought so fervently, now without the strain or struggle. Detachment is a journey, one that asks you to be patient with yourself. It's natural to feel attached, to care deeply, and to have desires. But the essence of detachment is not in denying these desires. It's in not letting them control you. It's about being fully alive, fully engaged, and fully free from dependency on any single outcome. In this state, you are no longer waiting for circumstances to align before you feel fulfilled. You are complete, whole, and at peace, regardless of what unfolds around you. The practice of detachment, then, is an art of living lightly yet deeply, of loving without possessing, of trusting without forcing. It is a reminder that everything in life flows and returns in cycles, and that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Embrace detachment and find that in letting go, you have gained the ultimate power. The power to be content no matter what. Is often mistaken for weakness or passivity, but it is, in fact, a profound source of strength. Silence has the ability to communicate in ways that words often cannot. When we choose silence over reaction, we make a statement, one that speaks volumes about our inner strength, self-control, and clarity. To be silent in situations that provoke, to refrain from defending oneself unnecessarily, or to simply observe rather than interject, is a sign of a deep, unshakable inner power. This choice isn't about shrinking back. It's about standing firm, fully present, without needing to seek validation or engage in unnecessary explanations. In a world full of noise, silence is a rare and invaluable power. Allows one to observe more clearly. When we silence our voice, We heighten our awareness, sharpening our ability to listen and see things as they truly are. This silence enables us to discern beyond the surface, allowing us to understand the unspoken, the subtle cues and dynamics at play in any situation. Most people are quick to speak, quick to react, eager to make their opinions known. Yet, in the act of stepping back and observing without immediate reaction, we gather insights and wisdom that often escape those who rush to fill the silence. This clarity gives us a profound advantage, enabling us to respond rather than react with greater precision and understanding. Also protects us. When we stay silent, particularly in tense or emotional situations, we conserve our energy, choosing not to waste it on conflicts or arguments that would drain us without any real benefit. Not every situation requires our involvement. Not every provocation deserves a response. Silence allows us to maintain our inner peace and balance. Words can entangle us, create misunderstandings, and commit us to positions that may not truly reflect our beliefs. Silence, however, is a sanctuary where we hold on to our power, refusing to be dragged into battles that serve no purpose. It is a quiet defiance that refuses to play by the usual rules of confrontation, and in doing so, it becomes a shield. We gain control over our emotions. In a heated moment, speaking out of anger or frustration can lead to regret. Words spoken in haste can wound, complicate, or escalate a situation beyond what was intended. Silence gives us the gift of time to think, to process, to understand our feelings before deciding whether to speak or not. This self-control strengthens us because it allows us to master our impulses, cultivating a sense of calm that others will notice and respect. Silence does not indicate a lack of feelings. Rather, it reflects the choice to manage those feelings with wisdom, restraint, and patience. Can often make us more influential. People are naturally drawn to those who speak less and listen more. When we do speak, our words carry weight because we are not constantly filling the air with them. In our silence, we create a space that others feel compelled to fill. When we finally choose to speak, people listen more attentively, sensing that what we say is meaningful and carefully considered. Silence, therefore, becomes a powerful tool in commanding respect and attention, without the need to demand it. Our restraint gives our words greater impact because they are rare, intentional, and thoughtful. Silence enables us to detach from the need for external validation. In our society, where people are often seeking approval or acknowledgement from others, silence represents a radical self-assurance. When we refrain from speaking, we show that we don't need to justify ourselves, explain every choice, or respond to every critique. This detachment reveals an inner confidence, a sense of self that isn't swayed by others' opinions or judgments. By staying silent, we affirm our own sense of worth without needing to prove it to anyone else. This form of silent confidence can be unsettling to those who expect reactions or explanations, as it disrupts the usual pattern of interaction. In difficult situations, silence can be a form of strength that demonstrates resilience and poise. When faced with criticism, misunderstanding, or even hostility, choosing silence shows that we are not easily shaken. It is a quiet reminder that we are grounded in our own truth, that our peace does not depend on others' perceptions or reactions. Silence, though often misinterpreted, is a powerful response to challenges. It reflects a maturity and stability that is unbothered by trivial matters or shallow judgments. By not responding, we show that we refuse to let external forces disrupt our inner stability. Silence allows us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. In our own quiet company, we can reflect, meditate, and access the deeper wisdom within. Silence opens the door to self-discovery, helping us to understand our true thoughts, feelings, and desires. It gives us space to reconnect with our intuition and inner guidance, which is often drowned out by the constant noise of daily life. Through silence, we find clarity as well as the courage to be authentic. It is in the quiet moments that we come to know ourselves more deeply.
realizing that we are enough as we are without the need to prove or explain. Then is not an absence but a powerful presence. It is the stillness that allows us to cultivate inner strength, clarity, and self-control. In a world where noise is constant and opinions are loud, silence is a rare and formidable gift. It is a strength that speaks without words, commanding respect, inviting peace, and fostering connection with ourselves and others. Silence is a conscious choice to hold our power, knowing that true strength often lies not in what we say, but in what we choose not to say. In silence we find resilience, wisdom, and an unbreakable connection to the strength within. Trusting the law of attraction is about recognizing the profound connection between our inner thoughts and the experiences we draw into our lives. It's based on the belief that our minds are like magnets, constantly emitting energy that shapes our reality. By trusting this law, we understand that our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are powerful forces that determine what we attract, whether consciously or unconsciously. This trust involves a commitment to aligning our inner state with what we desire rather than what we fear or doubt. When we learn to focus on our desires with clarity, we enter a flow where the universe mirrors back our intentions, manifesting them in ways we often cannot anticipate. At the core of trusting the law of attraction is the realization that we live in a vibrational universe. Everything from our physical bodies to our thoughts and emotions has a vibrational frequency. Like frequencies attract, therefore, whatever frequency we emit, consciously or unconsciously, determines what we draw into our lives. When we focus on love, abundance, or success, we emit high frequencies that align with positive experiences. Conversely, when we dwell on worry, scarcity, or resentment, we attract circumstances that reflect those lower vibrations. Trusting the law means becoming aware of the vibrational quality of our thoughts and intentionally choosing ones that are in harmony with our desired reality. The law of attraction also means releasing the need for immediate results. Many people struggle with this as they expect quick outcomes and become discouraged when things don't instantly manifest. But the law of attraction is not a transaction or a tool for instant gratification. Trusting it requires patience and understanding that things unfold in their own time, and often in ways that surpass our expectations. When we become impatient, we disrupt the flow of manifestation by introducing doubt and frustration. Trust means knowing that our desires are already in motion, that the universe is aligning circumstances in ways we may not see, and that our role is to stay in a state of belief and openness, allowing things to unfold. One of the most powerful aspects of trusting the law of attraction is realizing that everything we need to manifest our desires is already within us. Often, people believe they need external validation or certain resources to make their dreams a reality, but true manifestation starts from within. By trusting that we already possess the qualities, insights, and capabilities required, we activate a sense of worthiness. This inner certainty creates a magnetic pull that draws to us the resources, people, and opportunities needed to realize our intentions. Trusting the law involves embodying our desires, acting as if what we seek is already ours, knowing that our internal state creates the external experience. Trust also requires releasing attachment to specific outcomes. Often we limit ourselves by envisioning rigid outcomes and specific paths. By doing so, we restrict the universe's potential to deliver what is truly best for us. Trusting the law of attraction means letting go of the how and embracing the possibility that what we receive might come in ways we hadn't anticipated. This openness creates space for the universe to work, bringing about results that align with our highest good, often in ways that exceed our expectations. When we let go of our need to control, we open the door for new possibilities to enter our lives. Furthermore, trusting the law of attraction means cultivating a sense of gratitude even before we see results. Gratitude is one of the most powerful vibrations and a direct way to align with what we want. When we express genuine gratitude for what we have and what we desire as though it's already here, we raise our vibrational frequency. This gratitude reinforces our trust as it communicates to the universe that we already believe in the abundance around us. Through this feeling of thankfulness,
We create a state of receptivity, signaling that we are ready to welcome our desires without resistance or doubt. Trusting the law of attraction also requires awareness of our self-talk. Many people unknowingly sabotage their intentions by engaging in negative self-talk, believing that they are not deserving, capable, or good enough. These limiting beliefs create blockages, as they emit a frequency of lack and inadequacy. Trust means consciously choosing empowering thoughts, even when the external reality has yet to align with them. It's about affirming our worth and maintaining faith in our vision, regardless of temporary setbacks or challenges. By nurturing positive self-talk, we align ourselves with the energy of our desires, allowing the universe to respond accordingly. Another essential aspect of trusting the law of attraction is surrounding ourselves with supportive energies. The people and environments we engage with can greatly influence our mental and emotional states. Trusting this law means choosing influences that uplift and encourage us, those that affirm our worth and potential. Negative or skeptical energies can often diminish our confidence, causing us to waver in our belief. Trusting the law of attraction isn't just about our internal thoughts, but also about creating a space that reflects positivity and alignment. By curating our environment, we reinforce our intention, making it easier to maintain trust and focus on what we desire. Trusting the law of attraction means taking inspired action. Manifestation is not merely about visualizing and waiting passively, it's about listening to the subtle nudges that guide us towards our goals. When we trust, we become attuned to these intuitive prompts, acting on them without hesitation. This action is not forced or frantic, but flows naturally from a place of confidence and clarity. Trusting the law of attraction means understanding that we are co-creators in the process, that our role is to take aligned steps toward our vision, knowing that every action, no matter how small, contributes to its manifestation. Trusting the law of attraction is about aligning with the energy of our desires, believing in their reality before they physically manifest, and cultivating a mindset that remains steadfast regardless of external conditions. It's a journey of self-discovery, as it asks us to recognize our worthiness and power to shape our lives. This trust is an ongoing practice, one that deepens as we see our desires unfold. By embracing this trust, we not only manifest our dreams, but transform ourselves, creating a life that reflects the abundance, love, and joy that were within us all along. The urge to control is something nearly all of us experience. We want to shape our environment, influence people around us, and secure outcomes that align with our desires. But beneath this urge lies a deeper struggle, the fear of uncertainty and vulnerability. We try to control because it gives us a sense of security, but in reality, it often leads to frustration, disappointment, and strained relationships. Letting go of this urge isn't about giving up on goals or dreams, it's about cultivating trust in ourselves, in others, and in life itself. Resisting the urge to control brings a profound sense of freedom and inner peace, allowing life to unfold in ways that often surpass our expectations. When we attempt to control every detail, we create a narrow, restricted path for ourselves. Control is inherently limited by our own perspectives, assumptions, and biases. We think we know what's best, but we can't possibly predict all the variables or potential outcomes. By trying to force things to go our way, we close ourselves off to other possibilities that could bring us growth, joy, or unexpected insights. Often life has plans that extend beyond what we can see or imagine. Resisting the urge to control means opening ourselves to these unknown possibilities, embracing a mindset of curiosity instead of one bound by rigid expectations. This desire for control also impacts our relationships. When we try to control others, their behaviors, decisions, or even emotions, we unknowingly create barriers. True connection with others can only thrive in an environment of respect and freedom. Trying to control someone else implies a lack of trust, sending the message that we don't believe in their ability to make their own choices. This undermines relationships, creating tension and resentment. By letting go of the need to control, we foster trust, allowing relationships to evolve naturally. When we accept people as they are rather than trying to mold them to fit our ideals, we open the door to deeper, more meaningful connections. The urge to control also empowers us to accept things as they are. Acceptance does not mean resignation, it means seeing situations clearly without imposing our own expectations onto them. When we accept reality as it is, we allow ourselves to work with it instead of against it. This practice fosters resilience, helping us to respond to challenges in constructive ways. Rather than feeling defeated by circumstances beyond our control, we learn to adapt and grow. Acceptance gives us the clarity to understand what can and cannot be changed, empowering us to invest our energy where it truly matters instead of exhausting ourselves trying to control the uncontrollable. The act of releasing control also deepens our connection with ourselves. Often our desire to control stems from an inner insecurity or fear. We believe that if we can just control certain aspects of our lives, we will feel safer or more fulfilled. But true security and fulfillment cannot be created by manipulating external factors, they are cultivated within. By turning inward, we can address the root of our need to control, discovering the fears and insecurities that drive us. This self-awareness allows us to heal and grow, replacing the need for control with a sense of inner peace and trust in our own resilience. Letting go of control encourages us to live in the present moment. When we try to control the future, we often miss out on the beauty and opportunities that exist here and now. The future is never certain, and when we are constantly trying to shape it, we disconnect from the present. By releasing control, we learn to appreciate what is in front of us, experiencing life fully instead of living in a state of constant anticipation or anxiety. This presence brings a greater sense of contentment and joy, allowing us to engage with life as it unfolds rather than obsessing over what might or might not happen. The journey of releasing control also requires trust in ourselves, in others, and in the natural flow of life. Trusting ourselves means believing that we have the strength and wisdom to navigate whatever comes our way, even when things don't go according to plan. Trusting others means recognizing that they are capable of making their own choices, learning from their own experiences, and growing in their own ways. Trusting life means understanding that we don't always have to have all the answers, that sometimes the best outcomes come from unexpected twists and turns. This trust frees us from the constant tension of trying to manage everything, allowing us to move through life with greater ease and openness. The urge to control doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means letting go of forced effort and learning to act from a place of intention rather than fear. When we release control, we can still set goals, make plans, and pursue our dreams. But instead of clinging tightly to specific outcomes, we learn to embrace flexibility, adapting to changes along the way. This approach allows us to stay aligned with our values and intentions without becoming rigid or overly fixated. We become like a tree that bends with the wind rather than snapping under pressure, resilient and adaptable. Releasing control also allows us to experience a profound sense of freedom. When we try to control every aspect of our lives, we place limitations on ourselves, creating unnecessary stress and pressure. By letting go, we free ourselves from the weight of trying to manage every outcome, allowing space for spontaneity, joy, and creativity. Life becomes a journey of discovery rather than a series of tasks to be meticulously managed. This freedom is liberating, as it allows us to experience life in all its richness without the constant strain of trying to direct every detail. In letting go of control, we find ourselves able to flow with life instead of against it. Life is inherently unpredictable. No amount of planning or control can change that. When we stop fighting this truth, we gain a sense of harmony with the world around us. We learn to trust that challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities, that setbacks are not failures, but lessons. This mindset shift brings a deeper sense of peace, as we realize that we don't have to control life to find meaning or happiness. Instead, we can find fulfillment in embracing each moment as it comes, knowing that life often has a wisdom that surpasses our own. Resisting the urge to control allows us to cultivate a life of greater balance, freedom, and fulfillment. It opens our hearts to the present moment, deepens our connections with others, and fosters a sense of trust and resilience within ourselves. By letting go of the need to manage every outcome, we create space for growth, joy, and discovery. In this surrender, we find a strength that is rooted not in control, but in the ability to embrace life as it is, unpredictable, ever-changing, and filled with endless possibilities. There are times when stepping back and letting others feel our absence can be a powerful act. It's a way of establishing boundaries, of showing respect for ourselves, and of helping others appreciate our presence. Often people take us for granted, not because they are unkind, but because they become used to our constant availability. By stepping away, we remind them and ourselves of our value. Letting others feel our absence isn't about playing games or being vindictive. It's about reasserting a sense of balance, allowing others to see what we contribute, and creating space for reflection. Absence has a way of shining a light on things we often overlook. When we're constantly present, our actions, words, and support can fade into the background, becoming expected rather than appreciated. But the moment we remove ourselves, the void we leave can speak volumes. People start to notice what's missing, realizing how our contributions, companionship, or support added to their lives. It's a subtle yet powerful reminder that relationships are not one-sided, that reciprocity and acknowledgement are essential for meaningful connections. By allowing others to experience life without our consistent presence, we give them the opportunity to see the true weight and impact of what we bring. Creating space through absence also provides us with clarity. When we're constantly engaged, it's easy to lose sight of whether our actions are truly valued or merely taken for granted. Absence allows us to step back and observe how people respond to our distance. Do they reach out, show concern, or make an effort to reconnect? Or do they carry on as if nothing's changed? The way others respond can reveal a lot about the dynamics of the relationship, helping us discern who genuinely values our presence and who may only be relying on us out of convenience. This clarity can empower us to make better choices about where to invest our time and energy. Stepping back can also encourage personal growth, both for ourselves and for others. When we're constantly available to offer support, advice, or companionship, we sometimes inadvertently prevent others from learning to navigate challenges on their own. So, by creating distance, we allow people to rely on themselves, to confront situations without our immediate intervention, and to develop their own resilience. For us, stepping back offers a chance to focus on our own growth. We can invest in our own passions, nurture our mental and emotional well-being, and rediscover who we are outside of our relationships. Absence in this way becomes an act of self-love and self-respect, reminding us that we are whole and complete on our own. Absence is a way of setting boundaries, a reminder that our time, energy, and presence are not to be taken for granted. Boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. They prevent burnout and resentment by ensuring that our needs are acknowledged alongside others. When we are constantly available, we sometimes forget to care for ourselves. By stepping back, we're establishing a boundary that says, I am here for you, but I also value myself. This boundary doesn't mean we care any less. It simply means we recognize our own worth and expect others to do the same. Letting others feel our absence can also strengthen relationships by bringing a renewed sense of appreciation. Absence creates space for reflection both for us and for those we step away from. When we are no longer present, those close to us have a chance to realize what we mean to them. They may come to appreciate the small acts of kindness, the support, and the presence they once took for granted. And when we eventually reconnect, there is often a deeper level of appreciation, a renewed commitment to valuing each other. The time apart allows both sides to see the relationship with fresh eyes, fostering a deeper and more balanced connection. It's also important to understand that letting others feel our absence is not about manipulation. It's about honoring ourselves and respecting the natural rhythms of relationships. Sometimes we may feel compelled to give endlessly, to always be available, especially for those we care about. But relationships are healthiest when they are built on mutual respect and understanding, not dependency or obligation. By stepping back, we're giving others the chance to meet us halfway, to show us that they're willing to invest in the relationship as much as we are. In this way, absence becomes a test of reciprocity, encouraging balance rather than dependence. Absence also reminds us that we do not need to be constantly present to make a difference. There is strength in silence, power in distance. By stepping back, we allow our actions to speak for themselves. We learn that we don't need to always be there to be valued. Our presence is felt even in our absence. People who genuinely care will make an effort to reach out, to connect, to show that they miss us. Those who don't may simply fade away, revealing that their connection to us was never truly meaningful. This is not something to fear but to embrace, as it frees us to focus on relationships that are built on mutual respect and appreciation. Letting others feel our absence helps us cultivate independence. It reminds us that we are not defined by our roles in others' lives. Our worth isn't tied solely to how we support others, how much we give, or how often we're present. We are individuals with our own dreams, passions, and identities. When we allow ourselves to step away, we give ourselves the chance to nurture these parts of ourselves, to rediscover our own sense of purpose outside of our relationships. This independence strengthens us, making us more grounded and resilient, less susceptible to the shifting dynamics of others' needs and expectations. Letting others feel our absence is about balancing our love for others with our love for ourselves. It's about understanding that we don't need to be constantly present to be valued, that our presence should be appreciated, not expected or taken for granted. When we resist the urge to overgive or constantly be there, we affirm our own worth, inviting others to appreciate us in a deeper way. This act of stepping back allows us to maintain healthy, fulfilling relationships built on mutual respect, genuine care, and a shared understanding of each other's value. In this space, relationships can thrive, and we can truly appreciate the beauty of connection without losing ourselves in it. There comes a time in life when you recognize the subtle shifts in power dynamics around you. Power is not always about authority, titles, or control. It's often a quiet energy exchange that can determine the quality of our relationships, our confidence, and ultimately our lives. Watching the shift in power doesn't require grand gestures or confrontations. Instead, it involves self-awareness, restraint, and the ability to understand and leverage the unspoken influence that resides within each of us. As we navigate relationships and social settings, observing these shifts allows us to see where our energy flows, how it impacts others, and how we can use this understanding to elevate ourselves without engaging in direct conflict. Power dynamics are at play in all relationships, personal, professional, and social. Often we hand over our power unconsciously, thinking that by pleasing others or fulfilling their expectations, we'll be accepted or valued. But true power never stems from seeking validation outside ourselves. Real power lies in the ability to remain grounded and unaffected by the opinions or actions of others. When you understand this, you'll notice a shift. People start responding differently when you no longer bend to their will or seek their approval. They realize that you are not easily influenced, that you have a solid core, and that you respect yourself enough to set boundaries. Watching the shift in power begins with self-mastery. When you know who you are, your worth isn't contingent on someone else's acknowledgement or rejection. You stand firm in your values, recognizing that power starts from within. This doesn't mean you disregard others or dismiss collaboration. It simply means you're anchored in your identity, and your actions reflect your integrity, not someone else's expectations. As a result, people around you begin to sense a change. They may initially resist or challenge it, but eventually they start to respect the boundaries you've set. The energy shifts, and you find yourself in a position where your presence commands respect without the need for aggression or assertion. One of the most significant indicators of a shift in power is silence. Silence can be one of the most powerful tools in any situation. When you're not rushing to fill gaps in conversation, when you don't react impulsively, or when you don't feel the need to defend every action, you hold a quiet strength. People sense this, and they often become more reflective in your presence. They may even become uncomfortable, because silence, when used effectively, has a way of revealing truths that words can often hide. By maintaining silence, you allow others to see the weight of their own actions and words. You demonstrate that you're not swayed by petty conflicts or the need for validation. Non-reactivity is another important component of observing power shifts. When someone is used to getting a specific reaction from you, whether it's anger, appeasement, or submission, they're maintaining a certain level of control over you. By choosing not to react, by pausing and observing instead, you alter the dynamic. Suddenly, they're left to deal with their own emotions and motives without your participation. This withdrawal of energy is powerful. It shows that you're in control of your responses, that you're not a puppet to others' provocations or manipulations. The shift here is subtle but impactful. They begin to understand that you can't be easily swayed or influenced, and the balance of power starts to tip in your favor. To truly embrace this shift in power, you must also practice detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care, it means you're not emotionally invested in trying to control outcomes or people. Detachment is freedom. When you're not tied to the need to manage every situation or dictate every interaction, you hold an elevated form of power. Others will recognize that you're not looking to control or manipulate, and this often inspires a deeper level of respect. People sense when you're genuinely free from attachment, and they realize that you're not dependent on their approval or validation. This independence is magnetic, and it naturally shifts the balance of power in your direction. Self-assurance is another component of this shift. When you project confidence, not arrogance, but genuine self-assurance, people are drawn to it. They feel the steadiness of your presence, and in turn, they may begin to question their own approach. People who were once dominant or controlling may find themselves unsure of how to interact with you. They may soften, recognizing that their usual tactics have little effect. In relationships, when you are secure in yourself, the other person can no longer leverage your insecurities or weaknesses. This awareness shifts power in subtle but profound ways, allowing you to remain true to yourself without bending under pressure. A vital part of watching the shift in power is also observing how others treat you when you respect yourself. People treat us in alignment with the energy we project. When you respect yourself, when you value your time and your well-being, others will naturally start to follow suit. This isn't about demanding respect, it's about embodying it so fully that it becomes part of the way people perceive you. People who previously took you for granted may become more considerate, realizing that you are no longer willing to overextend yourself to accommodate their needs. This shift creates healthier, more balanced relationships, as people recognize the limits of your generosity and presence. Setting boundaries is also fundamental in this process. Boundaries are not walls but guidelines for how we want to be treated. When you set clear boundaries and consistently uphold them, people understand that there are limits to how far they can go. This changes the power dynamics because boundaries are a form of self-respect and self-protection. People who honor these boundaries are those who respect you, while those who challenge them often reveal their true intentions. The shift in power here is decisive. You are no longer at the mercy of others' demands or expectations, and you reclaim your right to define the terms of your interactions. A shift in power comes from authenticity. Authenticity means you are who you say you are. There's no pretense or facade. When you're authentic, you're unshakable. You're not acting or pretending to be something you're not, and this makes you resilient. Authenticity is a form of quiet strength that speaks for itself. People respect those who are unapologetically themselves because they sense that authenticity is rare. As you embrace your truth, others begin to see the real you, and they're less likely to try to control or manipulate. They see that you're not playing games, that you don't wear masks, and this authenticity establishes a form of power that's grounded, unwavering, and deeply respected. Watching the shift in power is an internal journey of growth, strength, and self-discovery. It requires patience and consistency, but it leads to a profound understanding of yourself and your relationships. As you stand firm in your truth, embrace silence, practice non-reactivity, and maintain healthy boundaries, you create a presence that commands respect. This shift is subtle yet transformative, allowing you to navigate life with dignity and confidence, free from the need to control or be controlled. Through this journey, you learn that true power lies in knowing who you are, respecting yourself, and allowing others to witness that quiet strength. In a world that often encourages us to chase, to persuade, and to constantly prove ourselves, there is a profound strength in stepping back and allowing others to come to us of their own will. This approach requires trust, patience, and self-assurance, but its rewards are deep and lasting. Letting people come to us, whether in relationships, friendships, or professional endeavors, means respecting both our own value and the freedom of others. It's a way of fostering genuine connections, built on mutual appreciation rather than dependency or obligation. When we choose this path, we're making a statement about our self-worth, acknowledging that we don't need to control or pursue in order to receive what's meant for us. At the heart of this approach is the understanding that authentic connections cannot be forced. When we try to control others or demand their attention, we may get a temporary response, but we rarely foster genuine, lasting relationships. People are naturally drawn to those who know their own worth and who are content within themselves. By letting others come to us on their terms, we're inviting connections that are rooted in sincerity, where people approach us because they genuinely want to, not because they feel pressured or obligated. This leads to relationships that are richer, more fulfilling, and more enduring. Trust is essential in this process. Trusting that what's meant for us will come in its own time requires a deep sense of faith, both in ourselves and in the flow of life. We must trust that we are worthy of good things and that we don't need to prove our value constantly. This trust allows us to release the need for control, to stop chasing, and to simply be. When we operate from this place of trust, we radiate a calm confidence that others find attractive and magnetic. People sense when we are at ease, and they're more likely to be drawn to us when they feel that we are complete within ourselves. Patience is equally important. Letting others come to us means accepting that we may not get what we want immediately or in the way we envisioned. Patience teaches us to embrace the natural rhythm of things rather than trying to rush or force outcomes. When we allow others the time and space to make their own choices, we're giving them the freedom to come forward because they genuinely desire our presence. This space for choice is invaluable. It's the foundation of respect, both for ourselves and for the other person. True connection isn't about instant gratification, it's about building something meaningful that stands the test of time. Stepping back also cultivates self-assurance. When we're not constantly seeking approval or chasing after others, we're showing that we know our own worth. This confidence speaks louder than words. People are naturally drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who don't feel the need to impress or conform. By embracing this self-assurance, we create an inner stability that is attractive to others. They see that we're not needy, that we don't require their validation to feel complete, and this independence often encourages them to move toward us with genuine interest. Another key aspect of letting others come to us is the cultivation of inner peace. When we're not constantly looking outward, seeking validation, or trying to make things happen, we free up energy to focus on our own growth and fulfillment. This shift inward creates a sense of peace that others can feel when they're around us. People are naturally drawn to those who emanate calm and serenity. When we're at peace within ourselves, we're not projecting our needs or insecurities onto others, and this creates an environment where people feel comfortable approaching us, knowing they're not being manipulated or controlled. Allowing others to come to us of their own will also mean embracing detachment. Detachment doesn't mean indifference, rather, it's the freedom that comes from not clinging to a specific outcome. When we're detached, we can genuinely enjoy the present moment without worrying about what will happen next. This openness creates a welcoming energy. People sense that we're not attached to how they respond, and this lack of pressure makes them feel free to engage in a way that's authentic. Detachment is a powerful form of self-respect. It's a recognition that we're whole as we are, and that we're open to receiving, but not dependent on it for our happiness. Respecting the freedom of others is fundamental to letting them come of their own will. True respect means allowing others to make their own choices without interference or pressure. This respect is magnetic because it's rare. People are often used to feeling judged or pressured in their interactions. When we respect their freedom, they feel safe, knowing they can approach us without fear of judgment or expectation. This creates a foundation of trust and equality in the relationship, allowing for a deeper, more honest connection to form. One of the most empowering aspects of letting others come to us is the realization that we do not need to chase to feel fulfilled. This approach teaches us to focus on ourselves, to cultivate our own joy and purpose, and to trust that the right people will recognize our worth without needing persuasion. When we live in alignment with our true selves, when we honor our own path, we naturally attract people who resonate with us on a deep level. We're no longer seeking external validation because we're content within, and this fulfillment draws people who are similarly grounded and genuine. This way of life is about creating a balance between giving and receiving. It's a reminder that relationships are a dance of mutual respect, where both parties choose each other freely. When we let others come to us, we're not holding back our love or interest, we're simply honoring the natural flow of connection, trusting that genuine relationships don't need force to thrive. We're recognizing that those who are meant to be in our lives will come, and those who aren't will leave, and both are equally valuable lessons. Letting people come of their own will is a powerful affirmation of self-worth. It's a reminder that we're deserving of relationships where we don't have to perform or pretend. By embracing patience, trust, detachment, and respect for others' freedom, we create a magnetic presence that attracts people who appreciate us for who we truly are. This approach brings a sense of calm, a recognition that we don't need to control the world around us to find fulfillment. We are whole, we are enough, and in this wholeness we find the strength to let go, to step back, and to let others come or not as they choose. The ones who do are the ones worth keeping, for they come freely, and in their freedom they honor our own. In conclusion, embracing the philosophy of letting others come to us of their own will is a powerful testament to our self-worth and understanding of authentic connections. By practicing patience, trust, and respect for the freedom of others, we cultivate an environment where genuine relationships can thrive without pressure or manipulation. This approach not only fosters deeper connections, but also reinforces our inner peace and self-assurance, allowing us to engage with the world from a place of strength rather than neediness. There is a rare strength in silence, a potency not seen by many. While the world urges us to explain, to prove, to argue our worth, there is a deeper wisdom in refraining, in letting the unsaid be the keeper of your peace. When you choose silence, you are not submitting to weakness. No, you are harnessing a power beyond words, a power rooted in the realm of the unseen. In a world that values loud declarations and constant communication, silence is often misunderstood, seen as weakness or passivity. But silence holds a unique power, a quiet strength that, when cultivated, elevates one beyond the noise, beyond the need for validation, and beyond the incessant demands of the external world. Choosing silence, especially in moments where speaking is expected or reaction is provoked, reveals a mastery over oneself, a calm that stands apart from the turmoil of emotions and impulses. It's in these pauses that true wisdom resides. Silence is a boundary. It shields you from distractions, from those who seek to sway or diminish you with their words or influence. When you choose not to react, when you refrain from engaging with energies that are draining or negative, you protect your own. This silence, however, is not an empty void, it's a shield, an invisible armor that safeguards your mind and spirit from the forces that would pull you into unnecessary conflict. By staying silent, you conserve your energy, directing it where it is most needed, where it can serve you rather than scattering it on fruitless exchanges. When you choose silence, you are not only guarding your energy, but also allowing yourself to act with greater intention. Words are often reactionary, spoken in haste or anger. But silence, on the other hand, gives you the space to step back, to consider, and to respond rather than react. Through silence, you learn patience, you train yourself to wait, to let emotions settle, to see a situation for what it truly is, rather than what your initial reaction dictates. In that stillness, clarity emerges, allowing you to perceive things others miss, to understand layers beyond the surface, and to approach life's complexities with a clear and composed mind. There is also a profound power in what is unsaid. When you refrain from sharing your every thought or revealing your innermost plans, you retain a mystery, a sacredness to your inner world that others cannot touch. Not everyone needs to know your intentions, your desires, or your beliefs. By keeping these to yourself, you prevent outside influences from diluting or distorting what you hold dear. In silence, you can nurture your dreams and visions without the interference or judgment of others. You let your ideas germinate in a protected space, hidden from the scrutiny of others, allowing them to take root and grow strong before they are ready to be shared. Silence is also an expression of confidence. In a society that often equates confidence with loudness and self-assurance with boasting, silence is a quiet assertion of one's worth. It's a reminder that you do not need to prove yourself to anyone, that you are content in knowing your value without broadcasting it to the world. Those who are secure in themselves do not feel compelled to defend or explain their actions or beliefs. They understand that true strength lies in restraint. It is a silent, unshakable confidence that speaks louder than words, commanding respect without the need for validation or applause. In this way, silence becomes transformative. It brings a serenity that's unassailable, a peace that cannot be shaken by others' opinions or judgments. Through silence, you gain control over your reactions, allowing you to move through life with a steady, unflappable calm. You become the eye of the storm, untouched by the chaos around you, observing, choosing when and how to engage. You retain control over your inner world, keeping it free from the intrusions of those who might seek to disturb it. The power of silence is the power of self-mastery. It is the ability to hold your ground, to let go of the need for external approval, and to direct your energy towards what truly matters. In silence, there is strength, resilience, and an unspoken confidence that nothing in the world can diminish. It is here, in the quiet depths of silence, that you reclaim your power, finding clarity, purpose, and peace. Silence, then, is not merely the absence of words, it is the presence of wisdom, intention, and unwavering strength. In a world constantly buzzing with noise, distractions, and the expectations of others, preserving your inner peace is not merely an option, it is essential. Inner peace is the sanctuary within, the calm space that allows you to navigate life's storms without being thrown off course. To protect this peace is to protect your well-being, your clarity, and the truest parts of yourself from the pressures and stresses that can otherwise consume you. It is in this inner peace that you find the strength to remain steady, no matter what chaos may surround you. Protecting your inner peace means learning to say no to the things, people, and situations that disrupt your balance. It means discerning between what nurtures your soul and what drains it. There will always be demands for your attention, and not all of them are worthy of your energy. When you guard your peace, you establish boundaries not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. These boundaries serve as a line that others cannot cross, a reminder that your well-being is not negotiable. Every no spoken from a place of self-care strengthens your inner peace, reinforcing your dedication to maintaining a balanced and harmonious inner life. In preserving your inner peace, you also protect yourself from the influence of negativity. The world is filled with people who will try to project their frustrations, judgments, and insecurities onto you. But when you make peace your priority, you become more discerning about the energy you allow into your life. You recognize that not every opinion needs to be heeded, not every comment needs a response, and not every challenge requires engagement. By choosing what you give your attention to, you create a shield against unnecessary disturbances. This act of preservation is not about escaping reality, it's about cultivating a state of mind where you can observe without absorbing, where you can witness the noise without letting it penetrate your core. Inner peace also comes from releasing the need for control. Much of life is beyond our grasp, and attempting to control everything leads to tension, frustration, and ultimately burnout. To preserve your peace, you must learn the art of letting go of accepting what you cannot change and focusing instead on what you can. This surrender does not mean passivity, rather. It's a recognition that peace cannot coexist with the constant struggle to dominate every aspect of life. By embracing the flow, by accepting what is, you release yourself from the grip of anxiety and enter a state of ease. You learn to trust in the natural unfolding of life, confident that whatever comes, you will face it with resilience and calm. Maintaining your inner peace also requires a commitment to self-awareness. The journey inward allows you to recognize the thoughts, habits, and beliefs that disturb your equilibrium. Often we hold on to past hurts, regrets, or worries about the future, all of which disrupt our peace. But by cultivating mindfulness and awareness, you can identify these mental patterns and gently let them go. You begin to see that peace is not something to be found outside yourself, it is a state you create within. When you are mindful, you stay present, grounded in the here and now, unburdened by the weight of the past or the anxieties of the future. Preserving your inner peace involves taking time for solitude and reflection. The constant demands of modern life can make it easy to lose touch with yourself, to become overwhelmed by the expectations of others. Solitude allows you to reconnect with your essence, to remember who you are beyond roles and labels. In moments of quiet, you can recalibrate, recenter, and restore the parts of yourself that daily life may have worn down. It's in these times of solitude that your inner peace is renewed, as you reconnect with what truly matters to you and release what no longer serves. To preserve your inner peace is to commit to self-compassion. Often we are our own harshest critics, berating ourselves for mistakes or failures. But inner peace cannot thrive in an environment of self-judgment. When you are kind to yourself, when you forgive yourself, you foster a gentle space within, one where peace can flourish. Self-compassion allows you to move forward without the baggage of guilt or shame, to approach each day with a lightness that brings peace into your every moment. To protect your inner peace, you make a profound statement that your well-being, clarity, and joy are worth more than the noise, the drama, and the demands of the external world. You cultivate a strength that is unwavering, a calm that becomes your foundation, enabling you to live authentically, resiliently, and peacefully. Inner peace, once preserved, becomes the compass that guides you through life, a steady reminder of who you are and what truly matters. In a world where people often feel compelled to explain, justify, and verbalize every ambition, belief, and achievement, there is profound wisdom in letting actions speak for themselves. True influence is not derived from words alone, rather, it's the quiet consistency of one's actions that conveys the real message. When you choose to express yourself through what you do, rather than what you say, you develop a form of authenticity that resonates more deeply with others and brings clarity to your life's path. Actions carry a weight that words simply cannot. Words are often subject to interpretation, sometimes even misunderstood, but actions reveal your intentions with unmistakable clarity. They require no further explanation, no embellishment, no need to convince. An action done with purpose and integrity speaks to the truth of who you are. It communicates sincerity, effort, and dedication in a way that words alone never could. When you allow actions to be your voice, you eliminate the possibility of misinterpretation, creating a language of consistency and truth that others can recognize and respect. Actions reveal the depth of your commitment. Talk can be easy, promises can be made, goals declared, and visions painted in words, but it's in the doing that these words are tested. It's not enough to tell people what you plan to accomplish, or who you hope to be. Real change and growth are reflected in what you consistently choose to do. When you act on your intentions, you demonstrate that your words have substance, that your beliefs are more than ideas, they are realities in motion. The courage to pursue your goals, even in silence, marks the difference between empty declarations and genuine progress. Letting actions speak for you also protects your energy. Explaining yourself or defending your decisions can be draining and often unnecessary. There will always be those who question, doubt, or even discourage you. But when you let your actions do the talking, you no longer feel compelled to answer every critique or address every skeptic. You reserve your energy for the things that matter, for the actions that move you closer to your goals. This quiet focus allows you to stay committed to your path, without getting sidetracked by the need for external validation. By letting actions speak for you, you also cultivate humility and grace. When your actions align with your values, you create a natural humility that requires no fanfare. There's no need to boast or advertise. Your life's work and dedication become evident in what you build, create, and pursue. This kind of humility is rare and powerful, rooted not in seeking recognition, but in the pure fulfillment of living according to your purpose. By remaining humble, you show others that true strength lies not in the need to be seen or heard, but in the quiet dedication to one's principles and passions. Actions not only reveal who you are to others, but also reinforce your own identity and values. Each choice you make, each step you take toward your goals, becomes a building block of your character. In the absence of words, you gain clarity on who you are, unclouded by external opinions or distractions. You learn that identity is not something to be constantly explained, it is something to be lived. Every action you take reinforces your self-image, solidifying your understanding of what matters to you and what you are willing to work for. There is also a great deal of respect that comes from allowing your actions to define you. People admire those who live their truth without the need to boast or convince others of their worth. When you focus on acting rather than talking, you embody the qualities of discipline, perseverance, and integrity. These traits speak loudly to those around you, creating a ripple effect that inspires others to act with the same commitment. By staying true to your path and letting your actions lead the way, you inspire others without having to say a word. Letting actions speak for you is a choice to live with authenticity, humility, and purpose. It is a reminder that words are fleeting, but actions leave a lasting legacy. Every decision, every effort, every small step contributes to the larger narrative of who you are and what you stand for. When you choose to act rather than explain, you walk in alignment with your values, inviting others to see the reality of your intentions through the quiet persistence of your efforts. In this silent strength, you find a peace that comes from knowing that you are true to yourself, that your life is not defined by what you say, but by what you consistently do. This is the essence of integrity, the true mark of character, and the most powerful statement you can make. Silence is often underestimated in its capacity to shield and protect. In a world filled with constant chatter, opinions, and conflicts, silence serves as a refuge, a buffer that separates us from the onslaught of negativity around us. To use silence as a shield is to intentionally distance oneself from the energies and influences that do not serve, protecting both mental and emotional well-being. Choosing silence in the face of negativity is not avoidance or passivity, it is a conscious act of self-preservation, a choice to maintain one's peace and integrity above all. When negativity arises, whether through harsh words, criticism, gossip, or outright conflict, the impulse to respond can be strong. After all, we often feel compelled to defend ourselves or to assert our perspective in the face of misunderstanding. Yet silence, when used with intention, allows us to step back and disengage from situations that would otherwise consume our energy. By not reacting, by choosing silence instead, we retain control over ourselves and our emotions. When silence becomes a shield that prevents negativity from taking root within us, enabling us to observe without absorbing, to witness without becoming entangled, is a powerful tool for maintaining emotional stability. Words once spoken can carry unintended weight and consequence, further escalating conflicts or deepening misunderstandings. Silence, on the other hand, creates a space between you and the negativity directed toward you. It acts as a neutral ground, allowing you to process and understand without the immediacy of reaction. This space is invaluable, as it provides the clarity needed to discern what truly deserves your attention and what does not. When you choose silence over reaction, you give yourself the opportunity to act thoughtfully, maintaining your composure and avoiding the emotional toll that can come from reactive engagement. Silence can act as a boundary, a quiet, unspoken limit that others learn to respect. When people realize that you do not react to provocations or entertain negativity, they are less likely to bring such energies into your space. Silence becomes a non-verbal signal that you will not participate in or encourage negativity. In this way, silence fosters a peaceful environment around you, creating an atmosphere where positive interactions are more likely to flourish. Rather than inviting confrontation, your silence communicates a message of strength and self-respect, one that deters others from trying to disturb your calm. Using silence as a shield also teaches you the art of detachment. When you refrain from engaging with negativity, you learn to separate yourself from other people's emotions and expectations. You realize that you are not responsible for others' reactions or projections, nor do you have to let them affect your own state of mind. This detachment is liberating. It allows you to observe situations from a more objective perspective, unclouded by the emotions that can arise in the heat of the moment. Through silence, you become more grounded, less susceptible to the moods and opinions of those around you. You hold your peace within, untouched by external turbulence. Silence allows you to cultivate a greater sense of inner peace. Constantly engaging in or reacting to negativity is mentally and emotionally exhausting. It drains your focus and distracts from the things that truly matter to you. By choosing silence, you conserve your energy, redirecting it toward constructive pursuits that uplift and fulfill you. The energy you save from not reacting to every negative word or action is energy you can devote to your growth, your goals, and your happiness. Silence, then, is not just a defense mechanism, it is a way to ensure that your energy is spent wisely and purposefully. There is also an element of humility and wisdom in using silence as a shield. It reflects an understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, and that not every comment requires a response. It's an acknowledgement that often people's negativity has more to do with their own struggles than with you. By choosing silence, you avoid getting caught up in issues that are not truly yours to solve. You rise above petty conflicts and low vibrations, keeping your focus on what truly matters. Silence becomes a statement of your self-respect and a testament to your strength. In choosing silence, you cultivate resilience. You train yourself to withstand the provocations and judgments of others without letting them disturb your inner peace. This resilience empowers you to face challenges with a calm, collected mind, unshaken by external negativity. Over time, this practice of silence strengthens your ability to remain centered and grounded in all circumstances, building a quiet but unbreakable fortitude within. Silence as a shield against negativity is a choice to protect your peace, to honor your boundaries, and to reserve your energy for what truly aligns with your purpose. It is a quiet, powerful act of self-respect that ensures you remain unaffected by the storms of negativity around you. In your silence, you find strength, resilience, and a sanctuary that no external force can disrupt. Silence becomes a fortress, safeguarding your spirit and allowing you to move through life with unwavering calm and clarity. There is an immense, often underestimated strength in choosing not to react. In a world that values quick responses and immediate reactions, refraining from responding can seem passive or weak. Yet in truth, it takes a high level of self-discipline and emotional intelligence to hold back, to resist the urge to defend, explain, or counter every word or action that comes your way. By choosing not to react, you preserve your power, maintain control over your emotions, and ultimately command more respect from others and from yourself. Not reacting provides a moment of pause, a chance to step back, observe, and assess a situation from a distance. Emotions are powerful and can drive us to say or do things we may later regret. When you refrain from reacting impulsively, you give yourself space to process and respond thoughtfully, if necessary. This pause can be transformative. It prevents you from being swayed by anger, frustration, or other reactive emotions, allowing you to see things from a more grounded perspective. In that moment of silence, you retain control, ensuring that whatever decision you make is aligned with your true intentions rather than fleeting emotions. By choosing not to react, you also protect your peace. Life is filled with challenges, and people may say or do things that trigger, upset, or provoke you. Reacting to every slight or criticism can be exhausting, draining you of your mental and emotional energy. Not every opinion requires a response. Not every challenge deserves engagement, and not every criticism is worth your time. When you learn to let go of the need to respond to negativity, you save your energy for what truly matters. By letting situations pass without reaction, you rise above them, keeping your focus and energy centered on your own path and goals. Choosing silence over reaction also communicates confidence. People who feel secure in themselves do not need to prove anything to others. They don't feel compelled to defend themselves at every turn or counter every judgment. This quiet confidence is powerful and often commands more respect than loud reactions. By holding back, you show that your worth and values are not up for debate, that you are grounded in who you are regardless of others' opinions. In not reacting, you communicate that you are unshaken, that you do not need validation, and that your strength is independent of external influences. Furthermore, choosing not to react can shift the dynamics of a situation. When someone is trying to provoke you, your lack of response can disarm them. People who aim to upset or control you rely on your reaction. Without it, they lose their power. In this way, silence becomes a boundary that subtly conveys, "You cannot disturb my peace." Rather than getting entangled in someone else's negativity, you create a protective barrier around yourself, demonstrating that you are not a participant in their game. This boundary is both respectful and firm, showing that you value your own well-being over engaging in unnecessary conflict. Not reacting is also an act of self-respect. When you choose to remain silent in the face of provocation, you honor your own worth. You recognize that your peace is more valuable than any temporary satisfaction that a reaction might bring. This self-respect strengthens your sense of identity and teaches others how to treat you. It sets a standard. You will not allow anyone to pull you into negativity or disrupt your calm. You become the master of your reactions, no longer swayed by external pressures, but grounded in your own values and self-respect. In choosing not to react, you cultivate resilience and inner strength. By letting go of the need to respond to every conflict, you develop a fortified inner peace that is not easily shaken. Over time, this practice builds a strong sense of self-control, helping you withstand challenges with grace and patience. You become less reactive, more centered, and ultimately more in tune with yourself and your goals. This resilience is invaluable, empowering you to handle life's difficulties with a calm, composed mind that is resistant to external disturbances. There is profound strength in non-reaction. It is not a sign of weakness but of a quiet, inner power that does not seek validation. By choosing silence over reaction, you protect your peace, communicate confidence, and honor your self-worth. You cultivate resilience and learn the art of detachment, allowing you to move through life with a grounded clarity that is untouched by the chaos around you. This hidden strength becomes a foundation, a source of inner fortitude that enables you to face whatever comes with composure and grace. In choosing not to react, you embody a silent strength that resonates far beyond words, a strength that commands respect and reflects the profound depth of your character. In a world where sharing is encouraged and often expected, there is a quiet, powerful wisdom in guarding your dreams within the sacred space of silence. Dreams are delicate in their early stages, like seeds planted in fertile soil. They need time to grow strong roots before facing the elements of the outside world. When you choose to keep your dreams within, you protect them from the scrutiny, doubt, and influence of others. In silence, you create a sanctuary where your aspirations can grow freely, untouched by opinions or judgments. This silence becomes a nurturing womb, shielding your dreams as they take shape, allowing them to develop in purity and strength. Guarding your dreams within silence also shields them from the potentially limiting beliefs of others. Well-meaning friends, family, or colleagues may cast doubt, question your plans, or voice concerns based on their own fears or limitations. These external voices can cloud your vision, casting shadows of uncertainty over the pure, unformed dream you hold inside. By keeping your dreams to yourself, you protect them from these external influences, allowing them to grow without the weight of others' opinions. Silence becomes a form of freedom, giving your dreams the space to develop fully in alignment with your authentic desires, rather than being shaped or compromised by others' expectations. Holding your dreams in silence builds a quiet inner strength. When you resist the urge to share every thought, every ambition, you cultivate discipline and patience. You learn to rely on your inner guidance rather than seeking external validation. In this silence, you build a stronger connection to your intuition, trusting your own inner compass rather than the feedback of others. This strengthens your resolve and deepens your commitment to your goals. By not sharing, you ensure that your motivation comes from within, creating a powerful, unwavering force that is immune to outside judgment. Keeping your dreams within the womb of silence also creates a space for reflection and clarity. When you are not preoccupied with explaining your dreams to others, you can focus more deeply on what truly matters to you. Silence allows you to explore your dreams without distraction, to refine and reshape them according to your own vision. In this space, you can examine your motivations, adjust your goals, and align your dreams with your values. This inner work is essential, as it prepares you to pursue your dreams with a clear and purposeful intent, free from the noise and expectations of the world.